We are brought to you today by Kai CBD, a Las Vegas-based health and wellness brand that crafts a full-spectrum CBD hemp-derived product line. Made with 100% love, the brand was created by a 20-year licensed massage therapist for her husband who suffers from chronic pain. Healing is what Kai lives for. Head over to their Facebook or Instagram and mention Pop Culture Corner to receive 10% off your order of all or any of their CBD derived product line. Guys, their website is in the works. Head over to their Facebook or Instagram. The links are in the description below. Mention Pop Culture Corner and get 10% off. This ad is an easy one for me. Easy, as I use the products myself. They are wonderful. So head over, mention Pop Culture Corner, and get 10% off your order of all orders forever. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Pop Culture Corner. My name's Ty, and this is Pop Culture Nightly. Before we get started, guys, we do have a bunch of stuff to talk about today. I'm super excited. Why's my camera angle so weird? What the hell? Look at that. That was strange that my camera like fell frontwards. Always something wrong. Did you see my face? But before we get into it, make sure to like this video, share it on social media so friends, family, and Mephisto can watch along with us. And if you would like to support the channel, you could become a member. This September, we're giving away 2 copies of Zack Snyder's Justice League on Blu-ray 4K. And you have to be a member of the 2nd tier or above. And at the end of September, we'll pick 2 winners from the members. And we'll send a copy over to you. So if you're not a member, become a member by the end of September and you can become eligible. Huge shout out to the people that are members: Saggy Melons, Benson's, Prakash, DC Talk, That One Carlos, Resident Justice, Billy Robert, Nick Carr, John Rodell, Justin Hines, Kinky Sphincter, Caiden Reed, Sean Adame, Nick DePalma, Roblox Marvel Ultimate, and Adam. Thank you guys so much. You guys are the lifeblood of the show. Now, the other lifeblood of the show is Austin, and he's currently busy doing something. So what's going on? You are muted, but yep. There you go. You're mute. Yeah. All right. So Hi. Now we're here. Now we're all together. And we will be joined, I think, by Metaverse in a few. He'll be stopping in, but yeah, I don't know what's going on with the likes, guys. I saw that you guys mentioned it. I understand because I did see that it was kind of like glitchy, but yeah. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't understand how YouTube works. Today, I mean, put it this way. Today, Alex Jones is on YouTube for 4 hours with Geeks and Gamers. So YouTube must be broken today.
Yeah,
it's clearly broken today. I don't know, guys. Yeah. So, I mean, quick, to open the show, a little banter. What do you think of that? What do you think of
dude,
having that idiot on?
I have words. I have a lot of words. Look, man. First of all, I get that there are some people, right, that you may not agree with, but you want to talk to, and blah blah blah. And I think there are people in that category. Fine. Alex Jones is basically the bottom of the barrel of human beings of this country, in my opinion. He is literally the worst. He's a liar. He's out of control. I'm pretty sure like he's got a couple screws loose, and not like in a nice way.
I read an article about from a former employee of his, and he says Alex has like severe alcoholism.
Oh yeah.
And like mental struggles. So That's, I mean, like you watch the video, like, or whatever, like they're all like clapping him on and like he's yelling about
It's disgusting.
vaccines.
I'll be
Yeah,
honest with you.
it's bad.
I'll go as far as to say, like, it grosses me out that we breathe the same air as those people.
Yeah.
And if they hate America so much, if they think it's so woke and it's so bad, then they can freaking leave. Go check another country.
Literally.
And if they don't, and if they think it's so bad, go somewhere else. Complain somewhere else.
Head over to China and tell me what bad is.
Tell me how much you like it. Go anywhere else in the world. But in the meantime, they continue to raise unnecessary hell for no good reason.
Yeah,
and especially do it at a time like you brought up, the day before 9/11, and just a lot. I'm not happy. I'm actually really. I have a lot. I wish I could say, but
that's the thing is I lived through 9/11. Like I remember watching it with my mother. Like we got pulled out of school because I live in Boston, so I'm pretty close. And they were flying fighter jets because Hanscom Air Force Base is in Bedford, which borders Billerica, where I grew up. And they were fighter jets were leaving like every couple minutes to assist because we're so close and they can get so quick. So those were constantly going over our heads, and like America's under attack. Planes are flying into buildings all over the East Coast, and you know what I mean? Like I was young, but I was scared, like literally scared. And I wasn't in New York or anything, but we're really close, and it was very weird. It was a weird day, and 3,000 people lost their lives. And this dude, Alex Jones, is consistently called these tragic days like Sandy Hook. A lot of kids lost their lives. Oklahoma City, a lot of workers and people lost their lives. 9/11, 3,000 innocent people died, right? He calls these things conspiracies. Pizzagate, he's mainly one of the people who pushed Pizzagate, and a man with an AR walked into a pizza place filled with women and children. Right. And you know what I mean? Alex Jones is when I refer to Jeremy and Doomcock as the armpit of YouTube, Alex Jones is worse. Like I can't explain
far worse.
I can't explain it.
And like you said, man, he's been behind just some of the most. Look, it's fine that you don't like people, right, Alex? It's fine that you think all these terrible things is that, but for you to go as far as the things with Pizzagate, with the Sandy Hook, and for me, I think I do believe that there's a line that needs to be drawn, because he's now crossed the line of none of this is American. This is like American terrorism on our soil. He's an American terrorist on our soil.
They call it domestic terrorism.
Domestic terrorist. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yes. That's what he is. He's pushing ideas and conspiracies and things that at the end of the day hurt people. They hurt people.
Yeah.
People end up getting hurt. There's a difference when you believe something and it doesn't hurt anybody else, and there's a difference when it does. And Alex is,
it's dangerous. It's really dangerous to believe and talk like that, and then you see them like this. Just shows me who they really are. They're like sitting there clapping and like, oh my god.
Crazy. Oh, and then he told them, oh, I love you guys, man. I wish I could be on you. You should come on my show for a panel. And they're like, oh my god.
He blows another line off the table and he's like, I fucking love you guys. Ah! Like Alex Jones is a literal maniac. Like Joe Rogan, there was a time where I almost stopped listening to Joe Rogan because he had Alex on a couple times. Right. And I understand, like, Alex can be like kind of interesting sometimes. Like when he talks about the alien stuff, it's different. It's a little different. I can get into it a little bit just because like it's fun to believe in stupid stuff sometimes. But when he goes on these other tangents about like the political landscape, I check out and I'm like, dude, you need help. But regardless of that, it sucks that people like that exist and guys.
It sucks that so many people. Because I did tune in for a little bit to watch, obviously for research reasons and stuff. And I mean, my mind was just blown at how many people are supporting it, to think this is okay, that are just completely brainwashed. These people are completely brainwashed zombies that will listen to anything that these fools say and run with it. And I mean, it is scary. It's scary.
scary, it's disturbing, and it's like I said, it's dangerous to spread those kind of messages and everything like that. But I mean, that's not to like go all negative right away. It's just
no, it
guys,
needs to be addressed. I think it does need to be addressed.
Yeah, to everyone in the chat, like just be careful of like watching that kind of content, because it can be addicting. It can be, that feeling of like, I don't know, it's like anger, it's hate, and it's super easy to get lost in. Just be careful. I don't hate on anyone who watches Geeks and Gamers or follows them or anything. I really don't. Or even Doomcock. If you like that stuff, then you like that stuff. But just be careful with it, because it can consume you. And
yeah, I mean, look, it's not that I don't dislike anybody that listens or likes this stuff, but just be aware that what you're listening to and what you're following is everything anti-American when they're claiming that it's all patriotism and all this crap. It's the absolute opposite.
Yeah, it is. And someone who has like a lot of opinions on things like this is Mr. Talking Meta. So we're just kind of doing our intro banter on
Which, by the way, I gotta start off and say I'm sorry, Meta. I told Meta I was supposed to go on his stream earlier, and then he moved it 30 minutes, so I thought I can go to Walmart. And then I ended up buying like about 25 things from 2 different Walmarts. I just got home like a little bit ago.
I'll go ahead. You're fine, my man. There's always, like I said, I always say this, there's always next time. I'm never gonna be mad if you miss it for something. I honestly won't. I will say though,
watch if never invite me again.
No. But I did have to keep pushing it back, because like for the longest time people weren't showing up. I'm like, okay, I'll push it back 5 minutes. I'll push it back another 5 minutes. We went live at 6.
Oh god.
Oh jeez.
I waited an extra hour for everyone, because I am a good human being, and I actually wanted more people here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what do you think of that? Because like Alex Jones is technically banned from every single. Like I'm not even joking. Every single platform
I remember.
He's banned from.
It's because of what he represents. Like I have to. So I told TW this on my stream before we. What's up, Gabe? How's everyone doing tonight? I'm I haven't had to start this. I do though. I told TW before I started our stream over on my channel. With this, Susan Wojcicki is going to nuke them off the platform. She has to, because he's on a ban list for a reason.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I had to get some coffee for this one, because I had to have something soothing in case I actually get like riled up from all of this.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah,
we can
like
get back to it. At some point tonight as well.
Well, they have shown their colors with doing this. They have shown who their audience is. They've shown who they appeal to, and if they truly still think they're the good guys, Matt Jarbo called it. They are McCarthy in this scenario. They are McCarthy.
Yeah, it's disturbing, honestly. I was like, at first I was surprised. I was like, Alex Jones, like what is he? He has no pop culture in him. Like that's not what he likes.
It's not about pop culture. It's about.
And then I watched a little bit of it, that clip that someone sent me, and I was like, oh, they're not talking about pop culture at all.
They're trying to stick it. They think this is sticking it to Hollywood. They think this is sticking it to the man, because someone who's been canceled is on their platform. That isn't Gina freaking Carano. Gina Carano is a lightweight compared to Alex Jones.
Yeah.
And as someone who knows Alex Jones very well.
I know Alex Jones very well as well.
He's a meme, but beyond the meme, he is a nut job. And I don't know if you guys watch him, but Rich from Review Tech has been saying he's been doing all this. He's been a mouthpiece for the conservatives just as almost as long as Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah, and you know what? As much as I disliked Rush Limbaugh, I at least respected him. I respected his hustle. You know what I mean?
No, I couldn't, Ty. I couldn't do that, because literally tomorrow's anniversary is when the Islamophobia in this country began. He proliferated that 1,000 times fold.
Yeah. No, he
after
was
9/11.
100% like he's insane. I respected. He was consistent, and he didn't like. Alex is on a different scale. Alex promotes like I don't know. It is.
Oh,
it's
he's a
different.
conspiracy nut job.
Yeah, it's different.
Rush
it's
wasn't.
different.
Rush was just a conservative mouthpiece.
Yes, and you know, I try not to hate on. I try not to get into the political aspect of it because like. Yeah, he's a dirty dude. Like he but a lot of like times like people don't know this, but like on his show, he would have like these call-ins, like these weird call-ins, but that was actually him doing it. So he was like acting
Yeah.
as like he had hustle, but he was just an idiot. Like I at least respected the guy enough to be like, all right, whatever, you know, you're just that idiot, right? You're just Rush Limbaugh. But Alex Jones is like he is
on the next level.
Kind of a waste of life. Yeah, someone said it earlier.
Yeah. No, I pulled it up because I was like, that's my favorite comment so far.
Yeah. So, but you know, we'll get back to it. We do have a lot of things to get into today. Like after the slowest week in news I've had in a long time.
I mean, Ty, you say that, bro, but if you'd been on my stream, literally nothing but gaming news, my dude. This month is nothing but gaming news. Next week is THQ Nordic's live stream where they're announcing a bunch of games. Then you have the Tokyo Game Show with Atlas and Sega and Microsoft and all of them.
Not really my area of expertise, but I can chime in a little bit.
That's where your partner here comes into play.
Yeah. So we got a lot to talk about though. So we can get into it now. Guys, before we do, I just want to say, you know, feel free to engage. You guys are the fourth panel member. We want to hear what you got to say. A lot of things to talk about tonight, and we're gonna end it. We have like almost too much to talk about, but
we're gonna end it by all getting naked.
Yeah, we're gonna end it with the Spider-Man No Way Home, the Andrew Garfield thing. So that's going to be a long discussion because I have some stuff I'd like to talk about.
I know you. I probably should have done this on my stream, and I'm an idiot for not doing it. But out of respect for what tomorrow is, at some point, would it be cool if we had like just a brief moment of silence for tomorrow because it is the 20th anniversary of a god awful event.
Yeah, we were talking about.
I'm just asking if we can do that.
Yeah, man, I did it for Michael K. Williams. Of course, we can do it for 3,000 people. You know.
Okay.
But. Yes, we'll do that at the end of today's show in memory because by the time we're wrapping up, it'll probably be close to the day anyway.
Yeah.
But so first up, guys, we do have a little bit of an exclusive for you on Sweet Tooth Season 2. We have new casting details for Sweet Tooth, and it is exclusive via Caiden. I think he gave it to us, right? Caiden got it from... Yeah. Thank you, Caiden.
Yep.
Just kidding. I got this. It was me. I just like to say Caiden got it because Caiden's the producer, but I went to my Reddit sources. I put on my mask and I came from the center of the earth to get it. So you guys.
And you went to your Black Mirrors and your capes.
Yeah. But here we go. So Sweet Tooth Season 2. So it's going to be around 8 episodes, 1 hour each, kind of like last season. It's obviously based on characters from DC, being produced by Netflix and WB-TV. We have our executive producers, Robert Downey Jr. and his wife, Susan, Amanda Burrell, Jim Mickle, if I'm reading that right, and Linda Moran. We're going to just jump down. I got the showrunner, casting directors, casting assistant, but we don't need to know that. So it looks like they're going to be shooting from January to May 2022 in New Zealand. We have some roles here. Finn Fox. Now, I'm super interested in this. I don't know what you guys think. Let us know in the comments. Did you enjoy Sweet Tooth? I was not expecting to love it as much as I did. What did you guys think? You still haven't seen it? Oh my God.
Hold on. I also haven't seen it.
You guys are literally like the dumpster fire of pop culture.
I have so many things to watch. That is
so good.
Oh my God.
It took me half
I'm sorry that the show about a kid with antlers didn't appeal to me first before some of the other things, okay?
You think that's what it is, bro. You think.
No, I know. That's exactly what it looks like. I know it's more and all that. I've heard great things. I really do want to watch it. Yeah. I literally just finished,
all right, so Finn Fox, he's a 6-year-old in the show. but they want a 9-year-old male, black American, mostly human. This is him in the show. Mostly human with fox ears, red fur, and a bushy foxtail. It's gonna be so cute. I cannot wait. He's brand new to the hybrid family. So if you have watched SweetTooth, you know what hybrid family means. But I won't spoil it for anyone who doesn't. Hybrid, you can see it in the picture here. No hybrids. So SweetTooth is a hybrid. Something happens to the human population. Yada yada yada. But they're introducing a lot more hybrids this season, it looks like, and I'm super excited to meet some of them because we didn't get a lot last season because it was like introduction to the world. So we really had to get to know SweetTooth. So this season looks like it's going to focus on some new characters.
I want to be a kangaroo hybrid.
What?
If they're going to do hybrids, dude, they should put a kangaroo hybrid or a man.
There's everything. There's everything.
Hopping around.
For instance, so we got Finn, right? So he's seen the good and bad of humans, so he can be distrustful at times, even to other hybrids like Gus. Gus is SweetTooth. He's brave, confident, and he can be a little sneaky like a fox. Sorry, I had to do it. Like he's got like he's got a trick up his sleeve.
Fox. You sly.
His trick up his sleeves. His parents taught him to speak. Now, a lot of the hybrids can't speak English or can't speak, but the ones that do are really rare, and that's why this is important. So his parents taught him to speak before they died. He's not polished. He puts thoughts together and run-on sentences and speaks up only when it matters. But the others do listen when he speaks because it's so rare that they're like, oh geez. Role require facial prosthetics, makeup, strong recurring guest star. So it looks like Finn Fox will be returning a lot. Next up, Wally Walrus. This is the best name out of the bunch. Wally Walrus. What? I can't even say it right. Wally Walrus, another 9-year-old male, indigenous and Latinx American. He has big tusks and flippers, little flippers, and very expressive eyes, it says. He's new to the hybrid family and he's still very shy. He misses his adoptive mother, Amy, who has been working to make him feel more comfortable with the group. He's afraid of the dark and struggles to speak with his and his words come out in song lyric. So that's gonna be really
fuck.
Whoa!
My bad.
Hey!
My bad.
Hey!
Whoa!
Hey!
Whoa.
Shut it down! Shut it down! It's over. Stream done. No, I'm kidding.
I'm still used to being on my stream. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, tune it up,
Learning,
kid.
young.
My bad.
Learning.
All I heard was he sings and he sings. I can't.
It's a
What?
song lyric.
Yeah, he talks in song.
Can you please
Dude, he
pass
like-
the sugar?
Next, it's gonna be like Les Mis, dude. Everything is gonna be song.
Yep.
I hate it. I hate it.
Next up for fans of Eminem, Haley Mockingbird.
Oh my god.
Get it? Haley's his daughter. Mockingbird's a song. Eminem. I'm good tonight, dude. I'm good. Another
Do you
9-year-old.
like violence?
Yeah, another 9-year-old female Asian this time. Got a beak and walks with stork-like legs. She's a spirited, impatient child who has opinions and isn't afraid to express them. When she speaks, her words come out in Angry Bird song or rage streak. Listen, I'm gonna start muting you guys. So I can get through this.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Where was I now? Because I was so rudely interrupted.
I'm so
But she
sorry.
can.
No, you made a point. This is all like reading it. This is all so dumb. Like, I know it's
Yeah.
gonna be great in the show, but my gosh, this is the best casting call I think I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
they have to dumb it down for parents.
They do. So remember though, these are things that are going out to the casting, like to the companies. So
The
they need to be as
agencies.
bland and like ready and
Right,
basic for the parents to read it and be like, okay, this is something my child could do.
Right, and
So-
also
Right.
give away spoilers.
I have
Yeah.
a question. What part of DC is this from? Is this from the Vertigo line?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. It sounds like something Vertigo would do.
It doesn't sound like it's like I get how it sounds, but when you watch the show, you realize that it's
Oh
not
my god.
the way it
it's
seems.
Oh, well,
so
no,
good.
no. Like,
it's
Vertigo
not.
did Fables. Vertigo did Fables, and that's what The Wolf Among Us is based on, and I love that. So
Yeah.
this just sounds like something Vertigo would do. May they rest in peace, because they were closed down recently.
but this role, Haley Mockingbird, will require facial prosthetics and makeup. Will be a strong recurring guest as well. Next up and last up, we have Jojo Cat. So another 6-year-old played by a 9-year-old female, white American, wide-eyed and docile. She is curious about people and basically, everything. She's puzzled by everything, and she's very curious. She is. If she's in a cage, she tries to squeeze out, because a lot of them were like, remember where we were last season when we ended, they had a lot of them trapped. So I get why they're saying this.
Right.
She tries to squeeze out. So if she sees a light or people moving, she's transfixed by the action. She loves to curl up into a ball and nap all day. But right as the sun sets, she engages her siblings in play for hours like a cat. Get it? Yeah, we get it. She moves lightning fast and runs circles around her playmates. She loves to groom her hair. More cat stuff. And
She's
her
a cat.
yeah. And the logline, SweetTooth, is a dystopian fairy tale following Gus, a 10-year-old deer boy, in a ragtag family of humans and animal hybrids as they journey through what's left of America after a cataclysmic event has wiped out most of the human population. So there you go, some exclusives, casting stuff for SweetTooth and some of the characters that we're going to be getting next season. You heard it here first on Pop Culture Corner.
Now watch all the big time people that get paid to write journalism, and I use that word loosely, not credit my man here.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. That's most likely what will happen. But yeah, so I loved SweetTooth. I mean, let me know in the comments what you guys thought. I thought it was a beautiful story of purpose. This boy just needed purpose, and he found it. And there's the guy behind him. You could see in the picture the
Is that his protector?
That's a guy who comes along and ends up starting to care for him in like this weird way after Gus's father passes away, and kind of leaves the kid stranded. So
he is his protector. Cool.
He's his protector, and he's pretty badass. It's just the way the season ended, we don't really know
what's
happens going on. Yeah.
Okay.
I highly recommend that you watch SweetTooth. It is a beautiful story. Caiden, is it 8 episodes for the first season or 10?
10.
10. So it's 10 episodes, and they're about an hour each. I would put a day aside and watch all of them in a row. That's what I did. And it was fantastic. I got lost in the world. It's visually beautiful. And there's a lot of family fun in it. So even if you're watching with kids, they'll have something to like as well. But there are some dark things, really dark. Like I'm not really dark stuff. Like I didn't expect.
Yeah,
it.
Vertigo doesn't shy away from telling dark stories. They never have. They never did.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. The story is unlike anything I've ever seen too, so it's pretty original. And I thought that was really cool.
If you liked SweetTooth, Ty, I know you're not that big of a gamer, but The Wolf Among Us is a point and click story based adventure. It's based on Vertigo property. I actually think you would like it. It's a detective noir type murder mystery story where you play as basically the big bad wolf, Bigby Wolf, as like the sheriff, and you have to solve a mystery of who's killing Fables. I think you would like that if you like SweetTooth. It fits the same type of dark aesthetic.
Yeah, no, definitely. Let me know what that is after. I'll have to check it out.
Absolutely. They're making a sequel.
Next up, we do have the new Untitled Disney Plus project. I'm not going to get too much into this one. There's a lot here. I will make a separate video for this one just because that's kind of what we want to do. But I will say this. So there's a new Untitled Disney Plus project coming, and we've gotten word that it's going to be episodic, about 1 hour each. We don't know how many episodes, but it's a sequel to a much-loved Academy Award-winning dark fantasy film. Okay? I will do a separate video on this, but like I said, I don't want to get there's just too much in there, and we have too much to talk about tonight.
Dark fantasy film.
So does anyone have any ideas on what they think this could be just by this? I have a lot more casting stuff.
I could be wrong, but the first thing that comes to mind, knowing what Disney Plus is doing, is the Willow series. I don't know if Willow was an Academy Award-winning movie though,
so it's based. It's a sequel to a much-loved Academy Award-winning dark fantasy film.
I know it's not
guys,
Willow, and I know
let us know in the
Dark
comments.
Crystal is owned by Netflix. so it's not
Oh,
Dark
that's
Crystal
true,
or
yeah.
Willow. Willow
Dark
is also
Crystal.
already in production, and that's already like being filmed right now.
Hmm.
So, and Academy Award-winning dark fantasies that Disney owns are Pirates of the Caribbean, Black Cauldron,
But we
Treasure
already know
Planet.
the Pirates of the Caribbean thing,
Bro,
right?
if it's Black Cauldron, I'll be so hyped.
So we can start pulling up the pictures, Caden, if you want. So chances of it being Pirates of the Caribbean, maybe.
They were supposed to reboot it.
They are supposed to reboot it, but I don't think I don't know if that's what this one's gonna be. I don't
They
I'm
they
not-
like to announce
and I
pirate
feel
movies
like
with
that's
gravitas.
more of an action adventure than I think dark
fantasy film, yeah. So next up, we can vote too if you guys want in the comments. Let me know. Maybe Treasure
Why did you pull
Planet.
this up? Why did you pull this up?
That'd be
This
interesting.
So
okay,
that
okay,
could
okay,
be-
okay. I have to say this. real quick, Ty. This is one of my favorite. That is one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. I mean that. Top 5 for me.
It's a phenomenally underrated.
It's underrated. Disney did not market the animated movie well, and I heard they're doing a live action remake.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Dun,
That'd be
dun,
cool.
dun.
I actually, again, I don't want it because I hate live action remakes, but I really want this property to get some love. So I'm like,
this one, Treasure Planet and Atlantis, I thought were both phenomenal movies.
bro, if
Yeah.
I
Not
could
the
high
second
five you
Atlantis,
right now,
but the first
There's
Atlantis
more-
was really good.
There's more details in the actual casting if you look at it. So you'll have to watch the second video. Like I said, there's way too much in there for me to go through.
yeah, you're
Right.
fine. Man.
But guys, let me know in the comments what you think this could potentially be.
It's Lilo
'cause
and
that'd be
Stitch.
really fun. It'd be really fun to hear your guesses and stuff. Again, I don't even know. Right. So we can make educated guesses based on the casting, and we will. But like I said, it's untitled, so we don't technically know the title, and I don't know what the Academy Award that was won was. So we're all guessing here. So, but there's more details in the casting that I think give it a little bit more credence.
Question. And I only say this because I know it's beloved, but I don't know if it won any Academy Awards. I only say this because of how much of a cult following it has. Could we consider Nightmare Before Christmas a dark fantasy film? Yes or no?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh
That'd be
my!
fun. Dude, if
I
they
don't-
did like a show for like the Christmas season or during, that'd be
A Christmas
so
special. A
sick.
Christmas special is as far as I'm willing to go with this, though, because I would want a prequel more than a sequel.
But
Interesting.
we're probably, if we're with the casting call here, we're probably going to be dealing with live action, some sort of.
It is live action.
Yeah.
Okay, then Nightmare's out of the question. That's just.
Right.
But okay. Just,
It is live action, right, Caden?
Yeah, it's
couldn't
live
remember.
action.
This one's live action, yeah.
Okay.
So
What it and also going through reading the casting grid again, I lean towards more it being Pirates and Treasure Planet.
yeah, either of those two. That's why we put
because
them up.
the way there was like those are the two I'm leaning towards.
And you'll, like I said, you'll see in the second video like why
Okay.
we made those guesses. But it just kind of leans that way.
Okay.
However, we could be way off. All this stuff is real. We're just guessing on like what it could be.
Right.
Because we don't.
I can't say
technically
the
know.
Black Cauldron did win an Oscar in 1985 by Walt Disney, so
Okay.
that's considered a dark fantasy from Walt
Yeah.
Disney.
So, guys, make your comments. Make it let me know your guesses, and we can all find out together, and kind of like laugh about it if we're all way off. Next up, so
Yes. Yes. If anybody wants to hear what
Go to my
two
live stream.
what two nerds sound like when this trailer dropped
In
yesterday,
ecstasy.
me and Meta were like literally going back, taking turns, just oh man,
my god, dude!
It
Like
was-
if you saw like the thing I posted as like the picture for my live stream, it's literally just a massive JoJo fan. It's just Joseph Joestar with the oh my god,
yeah. Oh,
that
my
was me.
gosh. That's
Um,
TW. That is exactly what I
Yeah,
did.
TW
Okay,
is
okay.
just on my stream. We
All
talked
right.
about this.
reel it in. I need to know some things.
Yes.
So this was announced at Sony PlayStation's thing.
Yep.
This whatever event, right? What was it called?
It was the PlayStation Showcase.
Showcase. That's what I was thinking about. So PlayStation Showcase. So this drops now. Are you guys excited for a Wolverine game?
Am I excited?
No, I hate
Does a bear poop in the woods, Ty? Yes, I'm excited for a Wolverine game.
There was that PC game, right? That like was super trashy.
No.
No.
There was a phenomenal 10 times better than the movie game, X-Men Origins Wolverine game.
Uncaged.
Like rated M.
Uncaged.
Uncaged. It was phenomenal. Like you could rip people in half. It was great. It was 10 times better than the movie. And when you played the game, you're like, why didn't the movie just make the game?
I will say this every time. Also, X2 Wolverine's Revenge was also a good Wolverine game, but
it is.
But Origins was a better game.
Yeah,
right.
Origin. So for me, when I think of Wolverine, that Origins game is definitive. I've forever wanted them to remaster it or make a sequel because everything about it they did right.
It's one of the best
gameplay, the dialogue, the cinematics, everything.
It's one of the best movie tie-in games ever made.
Yes, it really is. And so it would behoove Insomniac Games to keep some of those things like the blood and gore, the way the kills that he did. Other than that,
yeah, it's a Wolverine game. Like you need some form of gore. Like dude, you're literally
it has to be rated M.
Apart. Yeah, you're slicing people apart.
Exactly.
Question.
So all we do know about this is that it's set in Madripoor, a fictional city in the Marvel universe.
Where did you get that info
in
from?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We will update you as soon as we get more details. Did I get that right?
Yeah, because
where did you get the information that it's set in Madripoor?
The bar is all the letters are in Madripoorian.
Okay, so interesting. So I have some information to give as well on this, if you would may be so inclined. So this game is probably going to obviously come out in like 2020, 2024, 2025.
Yeah, it's going to be.
But if you read the PlayStation blog from the franchise director at Insomniac, notice that word I said there. There is a very interesting sentence that states that potentially, until they confirm it, it's just speculation, but potentially Wolverine and Spider-Man are in the same universe, which means Insomniac might become the Rocksteady for Marvel and make a gaming universe for Marvel characters.
Which will mean I'm going to have to buy a PlayStation 5.
Also, on top of that, they also said in that same article that they pitched multiple ideas. They're coming up with multiple ideas between Sony, Disney, Insomniac, Sony, and Marvel. And I said this before when we talk about the Spider-Man contract, and I'm not going to bring up the entire thing, but just this one particular part. I think Marvel and Disney came with an agreement with Sony to where Marvel games are exclusive on PlayStation is another thing, like to help with the negotiations, because this just makes this just feels like that would be the case. Otherwise, why would you make Marvel games exclusive to Sony?
Also, what people are realizing that when that Knights of the Republic remake, Wolverine, Spider-Man 2, they're exclusive to PS5 for 2 months, and then they'll go to PC and other places as well.
Well,
KOTOR will better to house it on PS5 to play on.
Spider-Man and Wolverine will not be going to any other console.
What other characters would you guys if they do?
Spider-Man's not on PC right now.
Okay,
I know, but next year it will be.
PC they have their deal with Microsoft.
So okay. I can break this up right now. So PlayStation has recently purchased a company specifically designed for PC ports of old PS4 games. They've put first put Horizon, now they put Days Gone, and they're now putting Uncharted 4 and The Lost Legacy on there. So it is potentially possible that they'll put Spider-Man 1 on PC later. I would say 2023 when the second game comes out on PS5. In all honesty, that makes all the sense in the world to me.
Yeah, they can get more money, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but there's
to be able to get more of a profit. But I thought that was a tie for. Yeah, I was gonna say, but I thought like the whole thing, right? Like with the Bethesda being Microsoft or whatever now, right? Those games aren't gonna go to Sony too, right? Like that's the whole deal about exclusivity, right? It's like. Right, you want that. Like this property is mine. It's kind of becoming like a studio.
I was wrong with
another
Insomniac, but
another
Republic.
Yeah. Another example of exclusivity that's on PC is like the Yakuza series. The entire Yakuza series was PlayStation exclusive for the longest, but then Sega finally released all of them on PC and Xbox.
Okay. if they do expand this universe, say they do what you said, and they do Spider-Man, Wolverine. What other characters would you guys like to see be entered in this universe? I know there's that like Avengers game, but people didn't like it.
It's gonna get better. Just give it time. But I'll let
No,
everyone else
no,
go first.
Look,
Don't you do it? Don't you say it?
No,
Don't
that
you say-
Avengers game is trash. And number one, number two, Insomniac isn't involved.
Austin,
in
Austin.
That. Like that game is Square Enix. They should stay away
Austin.
from Marvel. Go back to
Austin.
DCEU.
Austin.
Nope.
Austin, listen to me. No,
It's the most
listen to me.
repetitive game. Nope.
Please listen to me. Please, just hear me out for 5 minutes.
You have 2 seconds.
I asked for 5 minutes.
Try to get
You know what? We're taking our Spider-Man back. You don't get him. He didn't fail the negotiations. No. So here's my thing, and I've always compared Marvel's Avengers to this game, and I will continue to do it because I believe it is the case.
Right.
Avengers is in the same position that Battlefront 2 was when it first launched, except it's a much buggier mess. Instead of microtransactions, it was bugged down to death. So they need to rebuild faith in this game, and they're doing that over time. The War for Wakanda expansion was a step in the right direction from what I've heard.
So, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And they just released a new roadmap. I don't know if you even want this or not, to show on screen, but they included Spider-Man for PlayStation in that roadmap. There's a very good chance he's going to come out next month.
Yeah, they've been talking for a while that Spider-Man is going to come to that, but that's another thing. That's going to be exclusive for play. Like I can't play Spider-Man character on my Xbox, even though the Avengers game is like across all consoles.
I think that
I play the Spider-Man character.
Again, I think Marvel and Sony have a very close exclusivity deal as to why Tom Holland is staying in the MCU, and I think because it's profitable for both parties for that to be included in the deal. Both Disney and Sony make money off of the movies, and they make money off the games, except Sony would probably make more money off the games than Disney will because it's their console.
But you got to understand too, Sony, and look, I know you like Sony, right? But Sony is nowhere near close to the exclusives that Microsoft has. Having the Marvel as an exclusive, if I were Sony, I would be smart and say, nah, Spider-Man can't go to any other console.
Okay, I'll give you this, and I said this on my stream. Even you would have heard this if you came on my stream.
I'm sorry, man.
I'm willing to give Microsoft this. They are on their A game right now. They have been buying all these companies, including Bethesda. I give them credit. They're creating a lineup of exclusives, but
Marvel's
that's still
rival for Sony.
it's still going to take time for them to build up a proper exclusive roster. PlayStation has had one for the longest and continues to show that they are dominant when it comes to exclusives. I'm not saying Microsoft has any. I'm not saying Microsoft doesn't have any. I am just saying that, and you can't deny this, for the past 3 generations, they have been relying on the same 3 franchises, and I know Xbox fans personally that are upset with that. They want more exclusives. That's why they're bringing back Fable. That's why they're bringing back Perfect Dark.
Hold on, guys.
Those 3 exclusive franchises have held against multiple different tries that PlayStation. So I agree that yes, but
Forza, Gears, Halo.
If I were Sony, I would keep Marvel very close to my chest.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. And
all right, guys, 1 second. Caiden, so you said you read something wrong, because I just want to make sure we don't say anything that's wrong.
Yeah, I read. It was for Knights of the Republic.
Okay, so the 2-month thing that you said is not a thing,
according to Wolverine and Spider-Man 2.
Okay, just wanted to clear that up, because I don't want anyone getting the wrong information. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. We like I said, it's just KOTOR that's a limited time exclusive, unless Sony pulls a Final Fantasy VII remake and renews the exclusivity deal, which, knowing them, they probably might.
I think there's a better chance. I just know there's a better chance of Star Wars. I mean, you have Star Wars games on all the other consoles and stuff, and they're pretty good about keeping one open for everybody. So
I said this on last night's stream, PlayStation 5, and it's just a limited time exclusive, but we get the KOTOR remake, but Xbox has an Indiana Jones game coming to them.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I know exactly.
I don't know though if that's a limited time exclusive or a full exclusive though, and that confuses me.
These games are going to be limited time.
Okay, so see, there you go. It's a trade-off. That's what I'm saying. But Marvel is going to be exclusively to Sony because of the relationship they have with the movies. That's my entire reason as to why this partnership is happening.
Yeah, no, I agree. And if I were Sony, that's the smartest move you could make right now.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
I think besides those Marvel games, the only other
Damn, Anthony.
Oh, and
my
to the
God.
Drifter, Drifter it's his birthday in 2 weeks.
Hey.
Happy birthday.
So-
And I did
It's
want to
in
just
2 weeks. Don't say happy birthday yet.
I did
But I do
happy
need his
early birthday.
address for something special. So
But also, I did want to address this, Gabe. No, Wolverine is not coming out next year. Unfortunately,
No, it is not. It is in.
They
It is.
literally, they just announced that it's literally in development.
It was
we're
in greenlit.
probably
Yeah, it
not
was just
gonna
greenlit.
see it. We're probably
I
not going to
believe
see it until
it'll probably be 2024.
I say 2025 because
it
one
takes
of
a
the
long
things we
time
also
to make these things.
we'll
Oh,
see,
yeah.
and that. So here's the thing. Here's the reason why I say this. I think this is going to be a very expansive game. I think that we're going to explore the Canadian wilderness and parts of America, and it's going to be like Days Gone motorcycle gameplay with like hack and slash up in your face combat. So
That
that's
would
going
be
to
the
take a while to
best.
make.
That would be the great. Like that would be good because like
Yeah.
the Spider-Man game is that's Spider-Man. He's the
Yeah,
friendly
yeah.
neighborhood Spider-Man. But Wolverine is not your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Right.
So
He's the best there is at what he does.
you know what I mean? Like you need a game where he's gonna have challenges and
Yes.
he's gonna need to fight his
Now-
way out of situations.
Yeah, and to answer your question, because I don't want to act like we just ignored it to go on this this tangent. I have a whole list, but I'll narrow it down to at least, if I can think of it, like 5 to 10. Okay, so the first one I want is because we haven't had one since 2005. I want a proper Incredible Hulk game.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
That's just me.
That's definitely just you.
It is just me, but listen, Ultimate Destruction was one of the best games of the PlayStation 2 for me, and with a new in-game engine, I could literally level a city and be perfectly fine with that.
I know.
Now-
I think it's just the IP is tainted a little bit.
And
We'll
that's
see
why I
what
say
She-Hulk could very well help with that.
Yeah, no,
it
you're
needs
definitely
to.
right.
It needs to. But
Yeah.
other than that, I'll say this afterwards. My next game is Daredevil.
Yes.
Right, like Anthony
Yes.
just said.
Yeah.
I think
so
a Daredevil game, like if they went actually into it and like he used his senses, like if you could tap in, like, I don't know how you do
Arkham
that.
Knight type
no,
stuff,
no,
man.
I knew you were going to say that. Not Arkham Knight. You do not want to make it Arkham Knight combat because Spider-Man does that technically. Have any of you seen the PlayStation exclusive Sifu?
No.
No.
Look up gameplay for Sifu, except for the aging mechanic, which, by the way, that is a cool mechanic for a game. But basically, it's like the combat is more reminiscent of Daredevil from the Netflix series than anything else. So if I had combat, I would want it to be like Sifu's combat, where it's like up close, martial arts and that type of stuff, rather than just being able to fly all over the place like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I think with Daredevil, you have an opportunity too to do something like. Honestly, I would, and then I wouldn't make it
Let me, hold on, let me do
exactly
this.
like Arkham Knight, obviously like the detective mode. But the whole like if I were doing it, the whole game would be in a type of detective mode.
Oh, they also need to have like a Phoenix Wright lawyer thing for that.
Yeah. Where he's tapping into the senses to utilize them.
Right.
And you're like maybe I don't know how you would do it gameplay style because I'm not a gamer, but I think that could be really like a really cool idea is like how it utilizes the senses that he uses.
Exactly.
And put that, and put you in that situation, right? Like you're blind, kind of.
Yeah, I completely agree. And we play games with headsets anyways. It'd be great if like you could even do something where
Right,
half the screen
utilize
is
the-
dark and blurred and you have to listen from where the sounds are coming from and things. Yeah, I mean, that's my idea. If you're gonna do a Daredevil game, you can really get into it, make it interact. You can with Daredevil, you can make a game unlike anything that's ever been done before.
So I did just share a gameplay segment with Sifu in the chat. I don't know if you want to pull it up or watch it.
Because I have this pulled up as of right now.
I got you. Well, just
we
look at it.
can watch it a little bit after.
Yeah. Watch it like a little bit after, and you'll see what I mean when I say that I want the combat to be like that. I want it to be up close like it is in Sifu. It would be so great. But other than that, I said, Doctor Strange, Punisher, Moon Knight. I really want to see what a Moon
Doctor
Knight game would be.
Strange
Strange
game
would be pretty cool.
would be interesting.
That'd
Like
be
super
really- Oh, yeah.
interesting.
Oh yeah.
I also like to know in the chat, guys, are you guys Xbox or PlayStation people?
Oh God.
I just want to know like who we got in here. Or are you a PC guy? My brother's a PC person.
I'm both. At the end
Are
of
you
the day, I'm
PC
both.
Master Race up in here?
No,
They're
my
both
brother
great.
used to play PlayStation, but then he switched to PC, I
PC?
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the PC players are like really into it.
Yeah, and they shit talk
players
both of
are on
us. So
another level. Yeah, they're on
Xbox
another
gamers
level.
and PC, I mean Xbox and PlayStation gamers really just unite against PC gamers because they talk shit
It's
about both
great.
of us.
Yep. No, I mean, look, both of them have such great. I mean, look, I like multiplayer and I like campaign games. If you're looking for campaign games, look no further
PlayStation.
than Sony. Sony gives, I mean, some of the God of War, Uncharted,
I've been saying this.
the Ghost of Tsushima. No, I've said this forever too. That Sony has always won the campaign games. If you're looking to have just a blast with friends and some crazy stuff with like Halo and obviously now the Fallout stuff and what they've done with Bethesda,
Bethesda?
or Bethesda. I mean, yeah, I mean, I like them both. I think they're both great. I prefer Xbox because I just can't stand the controllers of Sony. I think nobody should be able to hold their hands like that. But that's my opinion.
DualSense feels amazing. Just saying.
Oh, I'm sure it does when you.
I know what that means.
But
Hey now.
but look, I mean, they're both great and have some great games to them. I mean, it's just preference.
Yeah, definitely. And here's another one. I mean, we'll just get into it now. Is so Spider-Man 2 was also announced on PlayStation.
Oh,
It's in
yeah.
development. Will feature Miles Morales and Peter Parker as the main heroes. Being eyed for 20. Did I mistype that? No.
I mean,
Being
if we
eyed
want to
for
go there,
2023
Anthony, at least Microsoft wasn't hacked, but that's okay.
in association.
Yes, they were.
In association with Marvel.
Anyway,
The villains of Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation 5 will be Venom, played by Tony Todd, and Craven the Hunter, which is to be announced, I believe.
and Calypso,
And
who is Calypso, who is Craven's
Calypso, yeah, I
betrothed.
know.
She is the love of his life, and she apparently is assisting him in the trailer. She's the one that comes slashing at Miles.
Okay. So I mean, are you guys? This is bringing those two games together, right?
Yes, this is
Yeah.
this is the culmination.
But they
of
were
both.
already we already knew they shared that universe together.
Yeah.
You get to play very briefly as Miles in the first Spider-Man game, and then they gave
Trash
Miles his own
segment.
game. But and so now I guess this one too is you'll maybe be playing evenly, switching off, or maybe because you get to decide which Spider-Man. That'd be kind of cool.
I think it's gonna be a long enough story to where it's gonna swap out. There's gonna be even a number of chapters between Peter and Miles, with the final one being you be able to play like the big finale by switching through both.
Kind of
it's
do
not-
it like the GTA 5 way, where you can switch.
Yeah.
That'd
Yeah.
be cool. I really love that idea.
It's not gonna be co-op. It's not going to be co-op. Sorry to those that want it to be co-op. There are going to be, from what we saw in the trailer, there are going to be dual takedowns, though, from what it seems like we saw in the trailer.
Right. So you'll be able to use the NPC and play off him.
So 2023, which would mean that they're probably already working on it, right?
They've
Yeah,
been working on it since the first one.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're working on the gameplay. I'm sure.
I mean, I'm sure you have because you have the city, right?
Yeah.
You know, the actual city, and if they're
They're
going to be
expanding
if they're going to be in the same city, like you can use those templates and kind of expand upon them. Like if it's but they're probably tuning everything up. I'm
they
sure they
did
didn't
say-
start from scratch.
They said this game's going to be huge.
I would
Yes.
assume.
Which compared
Yes.
to the first one was like, I would say mild in length. It's not too long. Miles Morales is literally 8 hours. You can play
Well,
that. That thing real quick.
it's a Lost Legacy game. It's not supposed to be this full campaign. It's just supposed to give you
right. It's
a dessert, as it were.
Exactly. It's it's a expansion but glorified. But this game, it seems like it's going to be like bigger than both.
Oh
of
yeah,
those combined
they're expanding the map.
and all that.
They said it's been rumored that in the first game and in Miles Morales we get the same boroughs, Brooklyn, Harlem, or not Brooklyn, you get Harlem, like you get part of New York City, but they're supposed to be expanding the map to include more of the boroughs. So, and that makes sense, especially if we're going to have Craven and Venom coming after us. Now,
Yeah. So do you think they'll be working together, or
yes,
it'll be a separate kind of style?
I
then
don't.
Caiden did say something that I'm
that's a spoiler. Potentially. I don't know how many people have played the game or not, and I don't know
I'll say this: if you've played the game, you know who the host of Venom is.
okay.
When Spider-Man 2 starts.
You know what? Screw
What
it.
does the host of Venom mean?
So because Venom is a
The
symbiote,
person
which
that
means
Venom's
Yeah, I
attached
know,
to.
but it's just so someone else is
So-
in that. It's not.
I'll go ahead and just say everything. Spoiler alert! If you don't want it, mute me for like a minute. So at the end of the game, we find out that Norman has been keeping Harry in a tube or in a container, and part of that container that's keeping him alive is the Venom symbiote. Because at the
Okay.
end of what Caiden is saying is that at the end of the game, Norman puts his hand on the glass where Harry's at, and the symbiote goes to where the hand is, basically like Harry is controlling the symbiote to touch it.
Okay.
And in Miles Morales, we see Norman tell Kurt Connors to pull him out of the tank because he's been in there long enough, as he says.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
the lizard.
Yeah, and that's the lizard. I think the lizard's going to be like a side quest type of villain.
Okay.
There's going to be multiple, like there was in the first one. I'm sure.
I
there's
think
gonna
it's
be-
because I think what it is Norman hires Craven to hire the other villains.
So here, I don't
see
think
if-
they're doing it
if-
with the Sinister Six.
or to see if Craven is responsible and well enough to kill the Spider-Man and Miles.
Well, now you have
Yes.
2 Spider-Men,
Yeah,
right.
right? So you
Yeah.
need more villains, right? Like
yeah.
that's my
so he's
Yeah.
that's what I would think. Cause like,
I mean,
oh
and so-
damn,
and
there's
also
2 Spider-Men.
because the question that it's like, I know like video game. I don't know how video game trailers work. If like they try to trick you sometimes, I don't know. But like what the dialogue that we hear is that Craven's asking someone if who can help him kill the spider.
Okay. So
And
there's
then
a
to me, it
there's a
sounded
trailer
like
for this.
we will.
Yeah, they showed it at the Sony event. But the way the trailer sounded to me, Caiden, was that because Craven's whole thing, the reason why he's even a villain to Spider-Man is he sees Spider-Man as worthy prey because of how tactical he is and how much of a how like he's like actually able to fight him unlike regular animals. And the fact that there's now 2 Spider-Men is just double the bounty for him as far as I can tell. That's why Calypso comes
Yeah.
to help him out as well.
Also, Gavin said something yesterday that was very that like, what if Craven is like beefing up Spider-Man,
right.
so then they can fight each other,
I
at
mean,
the end.
I got this vibe from it because, like you said, Metaverse. It ends with Venom going, "We will." I don't know. I don't think that Craven and Venom are going to necessarily team up. I think they're going to actually be against each other at some point, trying to kill Spider-Man.
My thing. So I have a theory, and I have no confirmation this is going to be the end of the game. But
Yeah, this is all good, yeah.
if it happens to come true, holy shit, I am a freaking prophet. So the other teaser from that finale in Spider-Man 1 is that the container's substance is green, and that green is reflecting off of Norman's face in the first one, which is a teaser to
Right.
Green Goblin. So here's my thing. If, let's say, Norman does hire Craven to kill the spider, and he fails, Venom is Harry. And I think that Peter is going to separate Harry from the symbiote, and Harry is going to die. When Harry dies, Norman is going to basically do a Thanos and say, fine, I'll do it myself and become the Green Goblin and make
Right.
Peter's life a living nightmare.
That'd
All
be
right.
great.
Well, I didn't know there was a trailer for it. It's only 1:37, so I'm gonna take a look at it. Okay,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With or without audio?
with audio.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the graphics on video games these days
For
are
as long
crazy.
as I can remember,
Here we go.
I have
Probably
looked
like a
for an
movie
equal. One who could push me. One who could surprise me.
There's Calypso.
Damn.
One who could even beat me.
There's little takedowns.
Yet all I found
This is insane.
disappointment. Will one of you finally give me what I desire?
Oh shit.
We will.
I don't think Venom. That's why I don't think Venom and Craven are going to team up because Craven's wanting a challenge.
So wait
Exactly.
a second. So when do you see Craven at all in this?
You don't, but that's
hear
his
him.
voiceover.
You know that for
Craven
a
is-
fact.
Sergei Kravenov is a Russian man who, in the comics, he loves the
I know
thrill
who
of the
Craven
hunt.
is. I know who Craven is.
That's him. It's Russian, dude. If it isn't Craven, I'll.
Did they
If it isn't-
say 100% that that's Craven? I just want to know for purposes. Did they say? Did they after that? Did they go? Venom and Craven are in this. Is that what they said? Or are we judging that by the voice alone?
Hold on. Let me re-pull up the official blog. I don't remember if they said it in that or not, but it has to be Craven. It makes all the sense in the world for it,
It
to
does.
be Craven.
I get it. I understand. Like I said, I know who Craven is very well. However, are we going off of what we know as fans, or are we going off of what Sony said?
Let me hold
Gavin
on. Let me
says
see here.
yes. Sony press conference said so.
Yes. They did confirm Craven and Venom are the two confirmed villains so far.
Cool. Do you know
Yeah.
who's voicing him? Because that's clearly someone's already voicing him. So I put two TBA.
Yes, Yuri. Oh no.
That's Spider-Man.
Yeah. No, that's funny. They gave all the other casting except for the guy that did Craven.
Craven.
So
Well,
okay, so
we'll
I was right. So
that
that one's
later.
not announced yet. Okay, cool.
It's not announced, but it's confirmed. So that's.
Well, the actor is unannounced, but it is confirmed that Craven's in there.
Wait, was there a Wolverine? There's no way there's a Wolverine little thing, right?
Yeah. There's a teaser for Wolverine
There
too.
is,
Yeah,
but
that's where
it's
the claw
literally
shot comes
30
from.
seconds. Yeah, it's just him taking out his claws.
Okay,
You
we're
don't
not
even
gonna
see
watch
his
that.
face or anything.
But it's the hypest 30 seconds you'll ever see in your life.
I did start screaming. I was like, because I didn't expect that. I was like,
Bro,
oh,
he
man.
came over, Ty. Your boy came over to my stream. We see Wolverine, we see Spider-Man. Okay, bro, I gotta go. And then God of War showed up.
Ah.
Which he basically stayed till the end, in all honesty. He stayed till the end. That was the last announcement.
I stayed for the God of War thing because that was just, oh my god, dude.
And by the way, who wants some news on God of War real quick?
Dude,
I read the blog.
Thor reveal.
Well, no, not only that, we're going to be able to explore all 9 realms.
Yes.
Oh Jesus.
And they're expanding upon the ones we had in the first game.
No way. That's
Yeah,
gonna be
man.
really deep then.
It's gonna that game is gonna be huge.
Both Horizon Zero Dawn 2 and God of War 2 come out next year. Let that sink in. Oh, and also Tokyo, Ghostwire Tokyo, which is another cool looking game.
Cool.
I've heard
All right, so here's the 30 seconds of Wolverine, what they released.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ty, roll it back real quick. I want to show something. No, further back, like to where we see like his back at the bar. There's an Easter egg. Right there, pause it. You see that little small sticker near the tabs that says like 104.8 right there? They're almost above it.
All right.
Right there. That I am not 100% confirmed, but from people I follow on Twitter that know the games industry and all that, that is the Marvel's Insomniac Spider-Man's universe. 104.8 is his timeline. So I think that they are connected because of that.
I'm sure they will be if Insomniac. Behind it. I love
why wouldn't you? Why
on
wouldn't
the right hand side, you see the Hulk 181
which is the
driver's license plate.
first official appearance of Wolverine.
Wow.
Yeah. Hulk 181, that's awesome.
Also, this is in the Princess Bar in Madripoor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Kitty's Bar. Yeah, it looks like it.
There might be some scene, like we might be able to explore parts of Madripoor, but I think it'll be I think we're going to be able to go to multiple areas as Wolverine.
I think this might be the ending. I think they're showing like the last scene, of like him being done. Like they'd be like, oh, here. Venom. This is the first scene, and this is like someone goes there and they're
In
having it.
all honesty, this scene may not even be in the game.
It may not. And if it is,
Yeah, this
and
could be
if
just
it
something
is-
they made to hype
This
people up.
scene felt
Yeah.
very much like this is
Just a
their
teaser.
announcement. Because right after that they said it's in development, and they didn't even put a date. So that just tells you it's going to be a couple of years. Like they just
I
started
mean,
working on it.
With what
Look
Sony
at the detail in it, though.
with
Yeah,
what Sony
Lord.
has coming down the pipeline, and again, I went over all of this just mere minutes ago. They're going to be stacked. So that's another reason why I say this game is coming out 2024, 2025, because they have games coming out next year and the following year ready to go. So it just makes sense for these to be like one of the big ones coming out to like mid 2020s is Wolverine.
I agree.
What's this here?
PlayStation
On the cash
don't miss.
register, it says 1974. Wonder if that's something.
Oh, that is probably a reference to something if people zoom in. There's probably Easter eggs all over this.
I'm
this either.
sure.
Now, Andrew I saw Andrew put in the chat Wolverine and Spider-Man team up. I don't think in his game, but here's my hope and pray.
Oh,
Okay,
Hulk made his debut in 74. I knew it.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, it sounds like when he got it, because Hulk 181 was November, I believe. Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
November.
So-
So,
A phenomenal game, Andrew, by the way. A phenomenal 10 out of 10 game.
Watch this flex real quick, okay? And this is again just all speculation, but watch me do this. So Venom is the villain for Spider-Man 2, as confirmed. If Harry does die, I hope that there's like some Eddie Brock side missions in the second one to set up Eddie Brock becoming Venom. And if that's the case, and there's going to be a sequel to this game, let's not kid ourselves. Wolverine's going to sell like hotcakes.
Oh yeah.
I hope that we get a rematch in a different game, different universe, and all that I know, but from the opposite side. But I want to see Wolverine versus Venom.
yeah, that'd be dope.
Wolverine versus Venom. Wolverine versus Hulk. Wolverine versus Lady Deathstrike. Omega Red. Like, oh my god, I cannot wait to see what they come up with.
Yeah, I'm super excited because I even want to play video games because of all these awesome things coming out, and that says a lot, honestly. I want to invest in a PlayStation just so I can play with superheroes. Literally, that's it.
They
I don't
also
care
in
about
that
anything else.
PlayStation blog post, they also said, because this was one of the most famous things Spider-Man PS4 was known for, was the suits. They did say they're going to be revealing some more suits. So here's hoping for a Spider-Man Unlimited web cape. I get to swing around in that web cape, baby.
Oh yeah. So you guys can talk a little bit more about Spider-Man. I'm just gonna run to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
okay.
I'll go through the blog real quick if that's fine.
Go for it.
Yeah, so I'll first read the sentence that has everyone like confirmed, like, or thinking this is in the same universe. So they go on about Wolverine and at the second half of this, but it says the final paragraph is, being able to build a new original universe with Spider-Man and now Wolverine is such an honor for so many of us at Insomniac Games. A huge thanks to Sony Interactive Entertainment family for giving us the opportunity to develop these games, Marvel for trusting us with characters that mean so much to so many people, and of course our fans for continuing to believe in us. Being able to build a new original universe with Spider-Man and now Wolverine. Now,
Yes.
I'm basically gonna cherry pick this because this thing is awesome. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. Marvel's Wolverine. Back when we were working on Marvel Spider-Man, there would be times where all of us, Insomniac, Sony, and Marvel, would brainstorm together about the future beyond the web slinger. And even in those early discussions, Wolverine continually came up as the character we'd be really stoked to work together on. Fast forward a couple years later, and we're suddenly standing in front of Sony Interactive Entertainment and Marvel, formally pitching a PS5 game starring the adamantium clawed mutant. This makes me think, what other heroes did they make a pitch? They did like brainstorm about? That's the question. And I seriously would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that room during that. Now, refresh my memory. When did Disney formally purchase, like officially acquire Fox? Was it 2018?
No, I think it was 20. Actually, it might have been 2018. I know it was after the release of Deadpool 2.
I know that, like, hold on. I want to. And like, if the chat has it, feel free to let me know.
Or Caiden, could you figure that out? Let's see here. What do you guys think? Oh, here we go. What do you guys think about Craven solo film and Aaron
What do
Taylor Johnson?
you want me to figure out?
When did Disney formally acquire Fox? All the paperwork, all the BS was done. They have Fox in their possession.
Oh, that's like 2020.
Yeah. last
Okay.
year.
So this makes sense then for the Wolverine game to come out now, because back then the negotiations were still going on with Wolverine and the X-Men and all that coming over. So it makes sense for this game to be announced now.
Right. Yeah, it does. It does. Or an X-Men, exactly, X-Men type games. Gavin asked, what do you guys think about Craven's solo film and Aaron Taylor Johnson as the character? I think Aaron's going to be great. People give him, he's a phenomenal actor.
I think it's going to be good.
It's going to be great. Obviously Kick-Ass, he's the star of those.
I
Savages
think
is a great movie.
Bullet Train, and this will definitely be his redemption arc for his as his acting career. Bullet Train and Craven will be his redemption arc, because not a lot of people.
He's got to get really big to play Craven, and I just don't see it happening.
Momoa.
He was huge in Savages. He's gonna get
and he's huge in Bullet Train. Set photos.
I just don't think he's going to be a convincing Craven. Honestly, I don't. He's not that like
you haven't seen his movies.
He's the Quicksilver type of superhero. Like that's who I can see him playing. Like he's big enough to be like superhero. I'm not saying he's not.
I'm guessing the only Aaron Taylor Johnson movies you've seen are Kick-Ass and Quicksilver.
No, I've seen him in a ton of things, including
I saw him in Godzilla where he kissed
and kissed his sister.
He kissed his sister. It's incest.
No, I've seen a lot of his movies, man. I like him. I really do. I just don't think this is the role for him.
I think he's a Robert Pattinson type. I think he is. Everybody's gonna that he's not.
Dude, I could see Aaron playing Batman before I could see him playing Craven. I just think he's built for like that.
Craven. That I can see him with the big beard already, and he's already had the long hair. Like I said, like in Savages, he have his hair like Savages and blonde.
I'm willing to give him one chance.
Yeah,
I'm willing to give him one shot.
After Heath Ledger, I don't say anything. Like I really don't. I don't.
Very true.
I try not to like hate on anything. I'm just saying I don't agree with the casting as on paper. I don't, and I won't. But I will give him 100% a chance. Like I said, after the Heath Ledger thing, I changed my mindset on casting until I see them in the role, But this one on paper just doesn't fit right for me,
and it doesn't for me either.
I think I was one of the few that when they said it, I thought he was going to be great, just because I think of his filmography. I know the guy has incredible range, and he can be scary too. He can be real scary when he wants to be. I've seen a couple of his movies, and I think he's great. I think it's definitely not your first thought choice, right, when you think of the character, but I think he's somebody that's got the acting range to absolutely kill it.
Yeah, I mean he might, and they must have seen something in him. So, I mean, we'll see. What I really don't not like is the idea of a solo Craven film in general. I don't like that.
That's a little weird without Spider-Man. It should be, but I mean,
again, this whole fucking Sony business, like what they're doing, I don't like. They got you built to think like Spider-Man's going to show up one day in these movies, but then like another one happens, right? And like they're building these villains up. But the villains only are these villains because of their interactions with Spider-Man. And some of these origin stories are directly tied to Spider-Man, which I don't like. That there's no, especially with the Venom one. It just, God. And like Venom, Let There Be Carnage, comes out October 1st. And yeah, I'm going to see it. But I still don't like it. I don't like the idea of a villain verse without the hero.
My biggest issue with the Venom stuff is I'm totally fine with the villain verse. I think that is it's incredibly smart marketing. And if I were Sony, I'd be doing the same thing. I don't like what they're doing with Venom. I agree with you. I didn't like the first Venom, and I don't like the funniness of the sequel. And I mean, like you're putting Carnage in there, but it's also going to be funny. I mean, that doesn't mix for me.
Venom. Venom is a character that is both cornball and serious.
I know. I've heard the.
This is a really accurate Venom.
It is. I don't like it. It's as simple as that. It is. It's just like all the people that came out and they were like, I hate Jamie Foxx's Electro. That was a super accurate Electro.
But it was accurate in the sense of after, like it was a newer comic line that.
Yes, that was
the way he looks is based on the Ultimate Comics look instead of the classic comics.
Exactly, and that was what I had read. So I was like, okay, that was fine with it, but everybody else was upset. So I didn't hate it. Depends on somebody's preference.
I didn't hate it.
I hate the performance
with Ty. I did not. I understand like this is Venom and he's comic accurate. I just don't. That's not what I like.
Like I said, I one of my favorite games of all time is Spider-Man on PlayStation 1, Spider-Man 2000, and in that game, Venom is a cornball because there's an entire scene. I told TW this where. Basically, you have to. Long story short, you have to chase Venom over some rooftops. When you finally get him in like a cornered alley, he says, "Where'd Spider Wuss go? Spider Wuss, come out to play."
I mean, like, Anthony, did you really want it to be longer?
No, but I think there is a disturbing aspect of movies that aren't 2 hours anymore. And that's kind of weird if you think about it.
I said this today that like certain movies need to be 2 hours long. Like for example, I think that if you have a Die Hard movie, don't make it an hour and 30 minutes because that's going to be a bad Die Hard movie.
Yeah, well, they're all bad. So
what?
Yeah, they're all bad.
Ty,
I hate to break it to you, man.
Ty,
but they're cult classics. They are. They're like cult classic action movies, but they're like super not right.
The first three, at least 1 and 3 are.
Dude, it's just like Fast and the Furious, man. It's popcorn movie.
No.
Yes, it is.
I will agree that it is like it's a over the top action movie. I'll agree with that.
They're fun. They're fun to watch, but they're not good. Like everyone takes Die Hard as it's like this crystal amongst like
it's about
the first two set a precedent for.
They were good.
Movies
yeah, they were good. They were good like action.
Then they ran it into the ground.
No. Three was really good. 3 is my favorite one out of the trilogy.
Okay. Yeah. And listen, I get it. Really, I do. I understand why people love it so much.
Release the
it's more to me like Fast and the Furious than anything. Like it's that style of like popcorn movie, over the top action. And I like it. I do. I actually do like that kind of stuff. It's kind of like what Owen Gleiberman said, right? Popcorn isn't good for you. You shouldn't eat it every day and every meal, but every once in a while you can indulge, baby. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it is what it is. Again, I do like Die Hard. I'm just saying they're not great.
Gavin's coming after your soul right now.
It's funny because Jack says I like everything, and then everyone else says I hate everything.
You did. You've switched. You've started.
I have not switched. I've not switched. I've always.
We're going down a different.
I've always felt these ways, and I
never
got the idea.
I get it. It's a seasonal thing. So the summertime, you were more of in a good mood and happy, and you liked things. You're starting to switch into the fall. Again,
I don't think you like the cold.
A little bit.
There you go, man.
You live a little bit more critical. No, I'm kidding.
Also, we did get a fourth one. Hello.
What's up, Aaron?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Yeah, I need something calm because
web cameras, man.
Yeah, Aaron, I just saw your post in your chat. Like it's apparently Max's stream is going bananas
right now in there.
Why?
Oh, they're talking about the Alex Jones on.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
And so Snowdub and Jarbo are actually going at each other right now on that stream. And you know who's in the chat on the comments? The quartering.
I don't know what that is.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
All right, what's the stream? What is it on? It's on Mad
Max. Yeah. Are we really about to do this?
Mad Max. What's his actual trailer? I mean,
Movie Mad Max Movie Madness. Just type into search and it should be there easily.
Eddie said in the other chat we're in that like he's still talking crap.
I can't go on that stream.
Dude, this is boiling over right now. Like this is hilarious.
He's getting a lot of viewers, Mad Max. Like more than usual.
Well, you got to think how many of them are actually like genuine people that are curious with his take, and then how many are just like people from the Phantom Menace who
Oh yeah, there's a lot of
who who are there to just troll and talk trash
saying
because
to block you. You know,
RJ's over there, Eddie's over
I
there.
don't care anymore. This is
George.
ridiculous.
Hey,
No, never. I don't want him on my channel, just on my thumbnails, but not in my channel.
What's up?
Can
with
we bring
everyone,
Brie
like,
Larson on too?
what's up? What's up with
Hey,
everyone in
now
masks and
now
stuff?
you're talking.
What's the puppet?
Jeffrey Miller, get the F out.
That's no dub.
Grifters, including the quarter.
Oh,
that's the one that
Brony?
started
He's still in your mind. You know how, what's the saying? Quartering. I mean, he's right here if you want to talk to me.
Jarbroni.
He says dunking on Jarbo's not interesting, so I'm gonna
He
clip
called
out
him
stuff from the
Jarbroni.
stream
dude,
just
the
to
quartering's
focus
probably
on
Didn't
drunk.
the other day, like he kept saying ratioed by a boulder instead of addressing the argument that I'd made. Apparently,
Right.
that video
I
I
like
put
how
out really
Jarbo
triggered him,
talks
and I
hard
felt kind of
until
bad
he
actually
says
because
something
like
in
I
the chat.
Jeremy generally tries to be funny, but you can tell when he's really wounded, and that was really wounded.
Listen, Jeremy, I like quarter pounders too. Why couldn't you just say I'm getting a quarter pounder instead of sandwich? That would have made my night. I would have been less angry if you would have said that, because we all know what it was. And,
Max is
yeah,
kind of
McDonald's
controversial now
quarter
that I think
pounder,
about it.
Listen, we all have work
Who's
to
that?
do.
Who's the Caiden lookalike?
I mean, we
No,
need to
no,
stop the hate, right? We need to stop the hate. That's
Hold
what you said
on.
in your channel. I need to hate less.
Caiden, is that your brother? Idiot.
Oh, that's Eddie.
Hold the
Yeah,
fuck
that's
up.
Eddie.
That's Eddie. That's
That
Eddie
does
Diaz,
look
bro.
like Caiden.
Caiden, that is you, bro. What are you
Yeah, I know, I
talking
know.
about?
That is not me.
Caiden, that looks
That's you.
just
I know this
like
stupid.
you, bro.
That does
Are
look-
you kidding me?
I'm so glad I came on tonight. This is
What
great.
in the world? How are you? What is this? That kid looks just like you.
Hi, bro. Chill.
That's hilarious.
Chill.
I can
Everyone
confirm
Arnold
that.
Schwarzenegger,
Released
Mr.
two hate
Freeze,
videos
and just
today with
chill.
absolutely no evidence, or very little evidence, just to form a false narrative where all the sheep
love
and
you, Caiden.
NPCs can
It's
follow
kinda
you
funny.
and show towards that narrative.
I have a look like too. He
And
was
then
in
you say,
Halloween.
I need
by
to
the
hate
way.
less, and I need
I'll
to
show
take
you
a
guys.
break, and then you're in my chat. Okay.
No, you know, the quartering gave me a shout out a while back. It was over the Jim Henson.
Oh, honorable.
We're done with this. But,
Oh.
yeah, I can only take so much of it. I can only take so much of it.
Yeah.
No, but I actually have a lookalike as well. And
Zack Snyder.
no, well, people say that too. That's stupid. They say I
Yo.
sound like him. I think is what it is.
This is
But,
absolutely
no,
insane.
in Halloween, there's a scene where a guy and his son are driving in a truck down a dark road. The kid in the passenger seat looks like me. Everyone tells me that. And it's like this little young kid, but it really does. My cousin tells me it looks like me because he knows what I looked like when I was younger. And it really is spot on. It's like eerie how similar it is. I believe that everyone has like those like spot on lookalikes.
Oh, you believe the theory that everyone has a doppelganger?
Yeah, but I was just joking with Caiden. That doesn't really look like him, but it kind of like the face structure. It does. Like just how he and he was very silent. Caiden's also very silent, so I guess that's what did it for me. But no, oh damn, we have one more thing to talk about. I stopped. By the way, I don't know if anyone knows, but now when you go to share your screen on StreamYard, it automatically checks share audio. Isn't that great?
Hey, there you
Yeah, I
go.
know that today.
That's
or
a step
yesterday.
up, StreamYard.
Yeah, I thought that was really convenient. Like it does it for you now. So I've been asking for that for so long. All right, so we already talked about Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2. Next up, guys, what's going on here?
Speaking of Spider-Man,
What is going on in the world right now? Because
I do have to go, but I just want to say this is real. It's happening. I'm telling you. I know, Ty, you don't believe it, but it's there. He's there.
what is this? By the way, I actually don't know about this leak for No Way Home. What is this?
So I thought it was just a picture. I thought it was a picture and I thought it was fake. However, there is a video, really clear video.
I saw the video.
I can't play it because apparently, it's one of those ones that gets.
I saw it on Twitter. Like,
Well, we can do it after we go off, right?
Yeah, I can show you.
Okay.
I took the background out of it, but there's a blue screen behind him.
yeah.
And he's talking to another Spider-Man. You could see the Spider-Man hand come into focus. Caiden, that was it, right? Just a hand.
Yeah,
Is
you
that the
see
Spider-Man?
fingers. You see
Is that the Amazing Spider-Man 2
fingers.
suit?
It looks like the Amazing Spider-Man 1 suit, if I'm being honest.
Take that. I'm sorry. I'm being a little bit of a dick. I'm sorry.
No,
I love the
so-
Spider-Man 1 suit more than 2. So
Yeah. So a new photo show, new video
It's
or
Tasman
photo.
2 suit. It's the Tasman 2 suit.
It's
Damn it.
number 2.
Yeah.
It looks like more like the. I can't
No,
even-
the one
is
no, he's
can't
right.
tell
one is
with
more.
the,
The more is
the-
more
the lines,
brighter
yeah,
and more
brighter.
digital looking.
But
While
this
the
one's
second
like
one
this
looks
one
like
looks
this.
like really beat up. This one
Yeah.
looks really beat up, as in like he's just been doing like he just fought something, because it's like really like it looks like there's like something like blown onto him, like black dust or something. But
Right.
I'm not sure. Again, like the video is really clear though, and
Yeah.
at first I really did think it was only a picture, so I was like that could be deep faked, yada yada. And
Yeah.
then I saw the video. Videos can be deep faked as well, but it's
this one
so weird. It's like
Because
so real looking.
because you have his arm moving, you have his belly moving, you have
And his
like his
Adam's
mouth.
apple actually moves
Like
correctly.
you have
with what he's
everything
saying.
moving, so you know that if every single body
Every
part
time-
that's supposed to move is moving, then it's like moving not supernaturally or super artificial, then you know
Right.
it's real.
Every time an actor says they're not in something, they're most likely in it.
Yeah, but I still am holding out. Like I don't want to think it, because again, we don't want to get into that WandaVision mindset, right? Where we're
I
making
know.
things up, and then because you're
There's a
gonna go
difference
into this
between the
movie.
WandaVision and this one. The WandaVision one was fan theories, and this one's actually like rumors.
Yeah, but is it different though in
Yeah.
reality? No, the
Yeah,
way
it
we
is.
perceive it, right? We're building these things up in our head. I'm not talking about who said what or what said who. I'm talking about what we do in our minds is we build these movies up to be something, and then if it doesn't happen, or the TV shows, and then it doesn't happen, we've already been let down some way. So I don't want to let myself believe in it, because I don't want to let myself down when it comes, if it were not to be true, right?
Right.
That's where I'm going with it. So again, take it with, I don't care what, until Sony and Marvel literally come out and say, yes, they're in it, or you go and see the movie and you see them in it, then you can confirm it. But
That's how we'll know.
I wouldn't until then.
Sony won't say it. I think, but we're seeing the movie. But that's how we'll know. So, just Sony won't announce it. They'll keep it a surprise.
And whoever leaked this video is gonna get.
we said that about the person though that leaked the trailer early, and as far as I'm aware, I haven't heard of any executions recently. So
Yeah, but you also haven't heard of him anymore. So,
him who? Oh my god!
what was his name, Caiden? Superhero.
Ed.
Yeah, Ed something. He literally is off social media. Now.
Is that with
Yeah,
1D or 2?
He was someone I talked to a lot and still talk to. He's off of social media, but like he's reinventing himself on Instagram, but not on Twitter or anything else.
All right, William, what's going on, brother?
What's up? Are you just starting or are you just ending?
I have no end in sight, sir.
Oh, okay.
We have far too many things to discuss today. Who's got something playing in the background?
Not me. I have everything like off.
I think everything's off on me, but I'll mute and see if it is me. Hold on.
No, it's not you.
It was
me
me.
before that.
It was me
Okay.
Okay.
because I have to be snooping around on someone's.
Yeah, I got you.
spaces.
Just mute. Yeah.
I just want to say for a
Yep, there we go.
Spider-Man game. You think Green Goblin's going to be in it? Because they also teased him in it. Because Norman
He's
Osborn,
going to probably be in the third one.
but he's in the.
So I said this earlier, Aaron. When we were talking about Spider-Man 2, I think that, and this is just my theory, but I think at the end of the second game, Harry's going to end up dying somehow, and Norman's going to be so like furious at Spider-Man that he's going to take matters into his own hands.
That's going to drive him nuts and grease
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Because this version of Norman actually loves his son.
yeah, to keep him alive. William, what do you think about this leaked video
For I
for
didn't see the first
Andrew
part of it.
Garfield in Spider-Man No Way Home?
I think he's in the movie. I mean, I think he's contractually he can't say that he is.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I
Yeah.
just assume that he's in it.
By the way, when an actor says they're not in something or they're in something, whatever, like I don't even care. I pay no attention to that because they're always lying because they have to.
They also have to create
Literally what they
better
have to do.
dialogue when
They have to
like,
deny it.
when-
They have to deny it.
The thing is also like because they say the same thing over like whenever someone asks them, they always say the same thing. Like with him, he always says the werewolf analogy, the same for line for line for line. You know, he said like it's imprinted in his brain that he has to say this werewolf analogy. Like
he can't slip up or he violates a contract. So
right. So he's like saying the same thing over and over again. So
you need to stop asking.
They need. Yeah, that's the other thing.
You know what he needs to stop doing is doing press.
He's on Jimmy Kimmel next week, and for sure that's gonna be a question for him.
You know it is.
Movie.
Yeah, Jimmy's a kind of a gotcha kind of guy.
Yeah,
he can get you to slip. He's been at this a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tom Holland would slip.
Yeah, Tom's an idiot though. Well, as far as we know, like
I mean, he hasn't slipped yet.
No, I know. And like I said, guys, just don't get too don't hype yourself too hard up until you see the movie or until Marvel confirms it. Because and if this is real, which it seems to be, I suppose, they might have to confirm it soon. So just again, take it with a grain of salt.
Also, listen, expectations for this is still a Tom Holland movie.
Yeah, and that's what I don't like about these other things.
Yeah, even if these guys are in it, they're not going to be in it to the point where they hopefully, if they do this right, they're not going to take away from him because it's still Tom. I wish the Green Goblin wasn't going to be in it. When I saw the Pumpkin, I was disappointed because I want to see a Green Goblin in a Spider-Man movie, but Tom Holland. I want to see one that comes up, and when they cast it for that movie, that atmosphere that they've created with Tom Holland. This is somebody else's Green Goblin. I love that Green Goblin, except for the costume. I love William Dafoe's performance as Green Goblin, but that's 20 years ago. That is Tobey Maguire's Green Goblin.
Yeah,
that's where it needs to stay. So, this to me is it's like a trip down nostalgia lane. But like I said, if you were born the year that the first Spider-Man movie was released, you don't. I mean, how much do you care? Those movies were successful back in 2002. In 2007, but movie making is different. There's a lot of different things going around. Is that really? I mean, was that necessary to pull them into this movie?
I am 100% with you, man. I would like to see Tom.
I think the success. I think the success of the Spider-Verse animated movie and how much it actually it changed.
But that's not what.
I think it changed their tune though.
Yeah, but it's so much easier to do. And that's what the thing is. Dude, it's animation, right? Mm-hmm. You can get away with so much more,
right? But it's also about it's also about like I see this isn't the reason Sony's doing it, but I look at it from the perspective of this is 3 generations of Spider-Man that we've seen on the screen coming together. And while Spider-Verse was awesome, unless you know the comics, you're not going to know a lot of these versions of these characters, like Noir, Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen. You're not going to know those characters, but everyone knows who Andrew Garfield is and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is. So that's why they're doing it. It's that's why they're doing it. Plus, also, it's as soon as Spider-Verse came out, everyone wanted the live-action version of it. So
right, but would you do I would do it in a way? I wouldn't do it for Spider-Man's 3rd film, right? It's supposed to be the end of a trilogy. Well, I mean, Marvel's kind of like with the Thor 4, Captain America 4, it seems like we're going to go away from
that's the properties they own. That's the properties that they will always own.
So we're probably going to get a 4th Spider-Man movie. I would set it up in this movie, but I wouldn't go full out, right?
Maybe I don't think you're going to get a 4th movie. Not in this vein, not in this way.
You don't think you don't think they'll re-up?
No.
Really?
I think Tom Holland, I think he's young enough to try to re-up him.
Yeah, Marvel will try. It's whether Sony agrees.
Sony, that's because Sony's trying to build up their universe with Craven and Morbius and well, I don't know if Venom is.
Yes,
it's possible to do a crossover there.
And this is a constant thing that I go with RJ and all these other guys. To me, it's Marvel has a treasure trove of characters.
Yes,
that they can use, and if you look where they're going metaphysical and intergalactic.
Yes.
They have an endless amount of characters. And
especially
you can
after the Fox acquisition.
Yeah, you can only put just what they have now with the Eternals, with the Fantastic Four, if they bring them in and make them the center of all this. You only have so many minutes in a movie and so many movies that you can really focus on each character before things become cluttered. People say that they need Spider-Man. Marvel, they were going to be fine.
They were going to be fine without it.
They're going to be fine.
It was a cool addition. not gonna lie, like
Yeah,
you know,
but it's not
Spider-Man-
necessary. It's like getting cool rims on your car, but you can still roll without them. You know,
Right.
you can roll with the factory ones.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, I say let Sony build up the Spider-Man universe, and Marvel just use Spider-Man when they need their stories for like Marvel events.
yeah, they'll sign a two-way deal.
Yeah.
What they'll do, and like
Yeah.
I said, this is what I think is going to happen. They're going to take over the production of their solo movies
Yeah.
and tell their story from their Sony point of view, but they will lease out and allow Marvel to use them to further the stories that they need over the MCU.
Yeah.
But as far as
what I
like,
thought would have been smart would be to let Peter Parker stay in the MCU and use Miles as a Sony Spider-Man, or do some like I don't know. That seemed like the best. of
well,
both
he'll
worlds
stay in
to
the
me.
MCU. Peter Parker will stay there, but when it comes to like the solo movies, like the next trilogy,
Right.
like now we're not in high school anymore. We're going to Empire State University.
Yep.
We're dealing with different
Yep.
things. Those are going to be Sony movies. Now,
Okay.
when Marvel needs them to be in whatever, they'll have access to them. They'll sign that deal. But as far as like right now, the Far From Home, Homecoming, and No Way Home, those are Sony distributes those, but Marvel is the creative force behind those. That's why you got Iron Man Jr. and Doctor Strange Jr. for the
Oh wow! Get out of here with that.
I will argue with that because we see that Sony in the past two films, a Sony produced film and never mentions Uncle Ben. Then we have a Marvel Studios produced TV show that finally mentions Uncle Ben. So I think it's more of a Sony problem rather than the Marvel problem for that.
It's not a problem, and Sony doesn't have to. You got to realize Sony doesn't have to give a crap about anything that went in the past. They don't have to care about Amazing Spider-Man 2. They don't have to care about any mistake that they've made in the past. All they got to do is hire the best people, like they did for Spider-Verse and any of the other movies, and go forward. That's it, and keep Tom Holland, because the average fan is not going to dig into all this. They don't know who Kevin Feige is. They don't know who any of these people is. They're going to see Tom Holland. They're going to see Spider-Man, and they're going to buy their ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all Sony needs to do. They've gotten the relation. They've gotten everything that they needed to out of this relationship.
Yeah, they got a proper Spider-Man out of it, like a literal
and now
proper Spider-Man.
They hoard out. They basically prostituted themselves out to Marvel, and now they've come back with
Yeah,
the first
now they're a classy woman, right?
Yeah,
they're a classy.
so everybody
broad.
won. Everybody won. But
Literally everybody won. I'm on board with that. And it's a shame though. It's a shame that in a world where like we have these mega events, we have characters of Marvel, like such important ones like Spider-Man, that they don't own, and it causes these problems. Like it just movie making wise, like it all, again, someone said in the chat, it all comes down to money at the end of the day. And Marvel's gonna eventually, one of these companies is gonna get selfish. It's just going to happen. Literally every book in the world, in every history book, will show you that eventually someone's gonna get greedy.
Well, Marvel will want them, or they'll want more money, because right now they get 5%. But here's where the math works out. It doesn't work out. So the $1 billion standard, which is stupid, but let's use it for an example. Let's say you got 1.5 billion, right? So you negotiate a deal with Marvel to where they get a raise from 5%, anywhere from 10 to 15%. Because if I'm Marvel, I'm going to go for the fences. That's just business. So if you agree to anything like that, and people are like, well, you're not going to make $1 billion without the MCU. Well, guess what? You just gave away a whole lot of money right off the top. You ain't reaching $1 billion anyway. So you may as well just make the best movies you can and collect 100% of the money, not give anybody any percentage, and you already have your actor signed forever, and you have the character. Why continue to give away money? Why? You're already paying. You're going to pay a production budget. You're going to pay all these things. Why you're going to give Marvel? Marvel gets first dollar. So before anybody gets paid, before the movie theater gets anything, before anybody gets anything else, Marvel gets their cut. So why do that if you don't have to?
Eventually, Sony's going to understand that, and
are you going to
cause an issue?
How much money do you think a solo Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland in it, with the Hobgoblin as your main name? I'm just throwing that out there. How much less do you think that would make in separate from an MCU storyline?
Like Sony produced and Sony everything.
Produced and distributed.
Not a billion, not even close.
No, it does. But remember, we don't need to do a billion because we're not keeping a
Because
billion.
we're not that standard is stupid.
That and you're not keeping it. You're automatically giving up a percentage to them from the get go. So you're dropping below $1 million to begin with, or $1 billion to begin with.
Okay.
So how much do you how much do you think that a movie like that can make? And if the difference is not as negligible, then you do not need to just give money away to another company.
I think, like, okay, so for what has come out is the 2019 was it 2019 they did renew the deal, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So 2019 they renewed the deal. Then last year, 2020, around August, we heard more about the deal, which is the Disney, Sony, Disney Plus, Hulu deal, which is the movies in 2022, after 45 days release of No Way Home, it goes to Netflix and then goes to Disney Plus after there being 45 days. And then Disney Plus or Hulu, whichever one. I think it goes to Disney Plus. So why would they sign that new deal if they know that after Spider-Man No Way Home, they're going to leave Marvel?
Because that deal would be in place no matter what. The only thing that will be interchangeable is Disney's part of it. They can sign a secondary deal with any other distributor or any other platform. That they can. That's not an infinite thing that's going to affect them going forward. That's
also
just
the other thing is, as you saw in 2019 when Sony pulled Spider-Man, there was an outcry from the studio, from Marvel and Tom Holland, and from fans of the
right, but they hadn't finished the story yet.
It wasn't just because of that. It was also because it was taking the character out of the universe. It was because that was also. It wasn't just because his story wasn't finished. It was also because of many other things. There was emotional connection to this character because he's in this bigger universe. So
Not
why?
really.
I wouldn't necessarily. Okay.
Spider-Man is Spider-Man. Period.
Yeah,
I know, but he has a bigger fan base now because of the Marvel MCU.
That's Sony was smart, but
they were.
And then also
movie,
you have.
Do I need 5,000 Avengers in Spider-Man solo movie?
Yeah, I would say I'm gonna have to agree with William on this one because I don't necessarily agree. I think it was more because the story hadn't been finished yet. There was so much more to tell, and now there's not, right? There's not. The Endgame
and also if you compare, because you say that Spider-Man characters are Spider-Man characters, and that if a Spider-Man character has if we're using that logic, how is Venom able to make 800 million, but Far From Home was make $1 billion?
I don't understand the question.
Once again, you're using a standard that Sony really isn't.
No, I'm not saying that the billion standard. I'm saying that Venom made less money because
one
it's
of the
a Sony
reasons
movie. Because
Venom made less money because there was no major Spider-Man wasn't in it. Venom is a less than 3 decades old character. He's a relatively new character that they've jammed in everything. But if Spider-Man would have been in that movie, then you're talking about much more.
I mean,
if they were able to make $858 million with an unassociated Venom character is proof alone in their eyes that they need to move forward. That was really where this all started to turn. If you're using their logic, and you're figuring, if I took Venom, which a lot of people thought was going to bomb, and they made $858 million without Spider-Man attached to it,
and a not really a great movie.
Yeah, what can they do with the actual main guy? That's
what I think Sony is starting to see, though, is that right? They asked their big brother for help, right? To because they weren't clicking with Spider-Man. They just couldn't get it right after Tobey. And even then, Tobey kind of at the third movie.
The third one wasn't that
the third
good,
movie wasn't really great, right?
So
that was studio interference in that movie.
Yeah. And then you have two amazing Spider-Man films that don't do so well. And now you're looking at the IP like, God, what are we going to do with this? They signed the Marvel deal, right? Yes, Spider-Man then becomes a big deal to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's no doubt about it. But again, and I can't stress this enough, there was so much story to be told left. Now, not so much, right? If we finish this trilogy, this right here, I don't know what happens in Spider-Man No Way Home, but if something happens, you could easily, if you were Sony, try to wrap this up now. Like after this third movie, pull him away and even if you had to recast and bring someone else in because Tom doesn't want to do it because it's not the MCU.
Well, he's under contract. It's not up to him.
Well,
If he's
after
under
this
contract
movie,
to Sony.
he's not, right?
After this
He's
movie,
under contract to Sony.
no. Now he's not because it's Uncharted. Uncharted and this movie are his last movies under that contract. Until he signs it, and he said himself. He said himself in like July that after No Way Home and Uncharted come out, he's quote unquote done acting for a year or two.
Yeah, but no,
Whatever.
if
He was
he
thinking
continues
of
to do another
leave.
movie, it has to be with Sony.
But
So-
he doesn't.
He can
He's not
stop
under
acting.
contract after Uncharted. He's done with Sony under contract.
Unless they re-up, like there's always
And then
negotiations.
he has
and
another
yada, yada,
appearance,
yada.
another appearance in the
Yeah,
MCU
if
as
Uncharted is a
Spider-Man
success,
after No Way Home. He has one
if
last
they're both
appearance.
success, they're gonna try
as the
to
guest
re-sign him.
One at a time.
Go ahead. I'm looking something up. Go ahead.
So go ahead, Aaron.
Before.
I was gonna say if Uncharted and Spider-Man are a success, they're gonna try to negotiate to re-sign him because
Of course, yeah, of course. Tom is a up and coming actor. He's good looking. Like people relate to him, they like him. Like I said, I think it's all going to come down to money and greed, right? One studio is going to want one thing. We saw what happens when there's a difference, right? Sony pulls out, the world reacts poorly to it. I'm not saying that Spider-Man's not a huge MCU character and like now he's kind of embedded into it, but eventually, like two studios working together, how long has that ever lasted? Ever? If you can name one that's still going, let me know.
Yeah, this is kind of ambiguous. It looks here that
It's never really happened, and one of them's going to get greedy.
But what was I just saying a moment ago about this about one of the counterpoints I believe is part of the Sony deal? You have it as your background right now.
the exclusivity in the games and like
I
how
think
Marvel,
yes, because that's where PlayStation. I mean, that's where Sony gets a lot of the most money from is their PlayStation systems. That is like their biggest selling area.
Do you think that
neither one of
you
these
think-
companies
do you
gets
think that
the most money from their movies?
I was
Neither
do you
Disney
think
or-
that
and-
but I guess that could be a kind of good trade-off, right? If Marvel's allowed to use the character in the films, we'll still keep doing the association with you with the video games and you keep it exclusive to PlayStation.
And now we know because of the KOTOR remake that it's not just
that's actually not so like if
well, no,
far as
I'm saying
Sony's
that
concerned-
Disney owns Star Wars, though, so it's not just the Marvel games. The Marvel games are going to stay
Right,
mainly
right,
exclusive, but they also could probably get first dibs to projects from other companies like Lucasfilm, because Lucasfilm, we know the exclusivity deal with EA ended.
Yeah.
We know the exclusivity deal ended, so like Ubisoft's making a game.
Oh,
I know
that's
that.
actually a good point.
I know that Indiana Jones. I know
it was EA because Battlefront. My God,
Battlefront 2, Aaron, redeemed itself in the end,
Yeah.
which I think that's the most important thing to say here. But
the first one was
I know
terrible.
I know that Indiana Jones is an Xbox exclusive, but it is a timed exclusive. And I don't think I don't know for certain, but I don't think Sony wanted that one. They wanted Star Wars because out of the two properties Lucasfilms does, Star Wars is definitely the one that is more, I'm not gonna say beloved, but it's the one that makes more money. So yeah, I think that this deal is multi-layered. I really wish I could read it. I would love to read like what exactly is included in this.
Yeah, that'd be a good read.
Caiden, do you actually where are you getting your information from, actually? Because there's a lot of points you've made that I have never heard before in this conversation that we've been having.
Contract status I'm looking at right now. I see nothing that says he's
Because
not.
Tom Holland said that Spider-Man No Way Home is his last movie with Sony.
I'm reading it's his
In
last
interviews.
contract with the Disney Spider-Man, but that doesn't mean
No,
that's his last contract with
okay, I'll
Sony.
pull up
I'm
an
looking at it right
article.
now.
So what's the legality of after a contract is up, right? Like after say Marvel has a deal with Sony, right? Like, all right, he's gonna appear in these two films, guaranteed, signed on the line, yada yada yada. That deal ends. What I'm looking for is how many more is he with Sony?
That's
Sony.
what I
Yes.
was looking for.
That's what
Yeah,
I would
William's
like to
looking for
know.
that.
Including Uncharted, right? That's one right there.
Yep.
And then
I thought it was a certain amount of movies within a 6-year period. But like
Well, hold on. Caiden, repeat what you said about that. So, like you said, No Way Home and Uncharted are his last deals, and that's the Sony deal.
That's his.
I only see him talking
Spider-Man No
about
Way
this
Home is his last Spider-Man movie. Uncharted is his last Sony movie until re-up. Which
The reason-
might have happened.
This makes sense for the only reason this makes sense to me is because of the Uncharted connection being that is a fully Sony property, and Yeah, if it's a Sony contract, then that makes sense because if that's like because they own Uncharted. that's the main
He
thing I'm
also
thinking.
says he wants to continue to play Spider-Man. So
Yeah,
I mean, there's no doubt about that. He said he wants to continue playing it as long as
if he's gonna play
How many-
Spider-Man, and they
Another
decide
20
not
years,
to.
he said.
How many
Not to
movies
move.
has he been in with Marvel now? So we got Civil
Civil
War.
War.
Endgame, Infinity
Endgame.
War.
6.
6 total.
Well, including No Way Home,
Including
but
his-
5 with
okay, yeah.
excluding No Way Home 5.
Okay.
Both
And
Endgame and
technically-
Infinity War, Civil
not
War.
all of them
Infinity War,
Sony stuff.
Endgame, and Civil War are count as appearances.
Yeah.
And then he has 4 appearances in 3 movies, which was under that first contract.
Okay.
Which he has another appearance after No Way Home, technically. But did they use it? We don't know.
Right.
That's with the Marvel deal, with the MCU deal.
Okay. I like I said, I'd be interested to know. Like, to Meta's point, I'd be super intrigued to read through.
Let's say,
some
for
of it.
argument's sake, it ends. Say it does expire. If Sony says that we're going to produce Spider-Man movies and Tom Holland, I've heard him also say that he wants to continue to play him, then that's gonna
be the way to
works
play
itself
him.
out. So that's a moot point. It's
Yeah.
all about signature at this point. But
So-
like I said, what I think is the biggest crime here is that people think that one of these studios needs the other at this point to do this. Marvel is not going to clip coupons if they don't have Spider-Man. They're going to be just fine. My gut feeling.
You are
yeah.
100% right. They will
Right.
be just fine because they're going a different direction with the universe. However, it kind of seems like they were setting up Spider-Man to be an integral part of the Avenger team.
That's because they were. They
No, I know,
are.
that's why
I think they're
and they're
setting
also
up to
setting
make
up.
a break.
They're setting up also. If you go by the stuff that like RJ has said, and I'm not talking about like the points he's made for
Caiden.
Spider-Man staying in the MCU. I'm talking about like things like he said about Kingpin showing up in Hawkeye. They're creating also a street level threat as well as a cosmic one, and a lot of different threats from all across, everywhere. So if the Kingpin is going to be a major threat in the MCU on a street level going forward, that's a major Spider-Man villain. He was the literal first boss you fight in the game.
But he
So-
really has to be
Elijah
in the
Wood was a
last
major
30
star
years.
before Lord of the Rings. He was like about
Also-
Charles before Lord of the Rings. So
Caden, did What If count as an appearance? Because he was technically
No.
appearing in it.
No.
But that's-
I
that's
would
not Tom
100% think that
But
was.
that's not Tom Holland.
Yeah.
It wasn't Tom Holland.
No,
that
it wasn't Tom
That's the
Holland.
thing.
Now, Kingpin.
Wait, that wasn't Tom Holland.
No, they got
Nope.
someone to voice him though.
yeah,
It sounds kind of like.
Because that's a full on Marvel Studios production. That's
You know
not-
what? I did
Sony
have a
has
doubt.
no-
I did have a doubt in my head when I was watching. I was like, that doesn't sound like Tom too much. But at some parts it does. So I didn't know that. All right.
By the
Now,
way,
if
Ty,
you-
you were right. That episode was disappointing.
It was so disappointing.
When it comes to Kingpin, he first appeared and was a major Spider-Man villain, but the last 30 to 35 years, he's been a Daredevil villain.
yeah.
Generally don't
Yeah.
use him in the Spider-Man story.
There is.
Daredevil villain. He's one of
There
the
is.
great Daredevil
Yeah,
villains.
But they-
Vincent D'Onofrio
they
is in
just
Toronto
used
where the
him,
reshoots
like-
are for Hawkeye.
Yeah,
What?
we so there's a rumor swirling around
Yeah.
that Kingpin might show up in Hawkeye. However, I just want to make one thing clear to everyone. After we made the mistake of running the Charlie Cox thing, I will no longer be promoting that kind of stuff at all.
I
So
love
is it-
that Kingpin from Netflix. though.
Kevin
I-
Feige does not like the Netflix characters, and
Yeah,
I
and
did
that means
find
he
that
likes
in a
certain
rumor.
ones.
No,
He
I
said that in interviews.
yeah,
He
I
likes
was
likes
reading an
Punisher, he
article
likes
that
He
he was
doesn't like the TV, MCU stuff on TV.
It's kind of funny
Like
because
you do.
Feige kind of reminds me of this is gonna sound like a weird stretch, but he kind of reminds me of Vince McMahon. Like he has great ideas and everything, but there are times where he just doesn't get it.
Yeah.
you know,
Plus, he
like
has a
I don't
boss
like
too, so-
I don't
Yeah,
like the
of course
Netflix
he
characters.
does.
No, I don't like the Netflix
mean,
characters, but they're true to the comics.
Yeah.
the SmackDown show tonight, the WWE's capability is putting on a good show. Like tonight, they just don't lazy in that aspect. They don't get
Yeah,
it.
they're capable. They have the best roster in the world, but the last
Yeah.
20 to 25 years, the product just hasn't been there. People think of AEW and they're like, "Oh, look at AEW." What's happening with WWE was happening long before AEW was
Yeah, I
even
know.
thought of. The erosion of the WWE product started before some of you guys were even born. To be honest with you, depending
Well,
on-
I think the Attitude Era was the last good thing that came out of.
But the Attitude Era, the wrestling quality wasn't the greatest. There's just a story and creative aspect of it. Like the
No, I know.
wrestling
But I
aspect
do think
good.
that was, but I highly recommend everyone go listen to the Undertaker episode or Mark Calloway episode,
Yeah.
on Joe Rogan. He talks about it because he's he was around, doing WrestleManias once a year, whatever.
Usually
He's still
3
training with the
decades.
guys, yeah. And he just
That
said
was his
he
prime
even
right there.
said that something is wrong with the brand now. Like all these kids are coming up. There's no like, it's all flash, no substance. Like hearing the Undertaker say that, dude. I mean, this.
Well, Mick Foley. Did you
Yeah.
see what Mick Foley said?
I don't watch wrestling anymore, so I
dude,
What did
don't.
Mick say?
Oh, dude, Mick. Who's your producer? Is it
Caiden, yeah.
Hey, Caiden, if you're listening, pull up that video that was.
Oh, when you talked about AEW and WWE?
Is it a
I saw that.
WWE?
No, it's
interview.
a Mick Foley clip. It's from Mick Foley's website.
It's from his
His
Facebook
own-
account.
Okay,
His
because
Facebook and his
WWE slaps you hard.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's
they don't.
saying-
They
he's-
He came out and said some stuff that was sobering.
Yeah,
About
Caden, if you can
WWE.
find the clip that he's talking about, some Mick Foley
It's
talking
on
about.
Twitter. If you can find it on Twitter, it's on Twitter. So
All right.
Yeah, you
Well, if
should
someone
be
can
able
link it in the private chat, if you can find it as well, I would love to hear. But
Will,
what-
he's getting heat from WWE for that right now.
Of course it is. Whenever you turn on WWE,
so isn't the
they-
Undertaker?
they treat you like garbage and act
Yeah.
like you don't exist.
Yeah,
Um,
Foley's under some sort of contract with him too. So that's
Yeah,
why
but he's
getting-
Mick Foley. He's Mick
Yeah,
Foley.
he's Mick Foley,
What do you got to do to Mick Foley?
Yeah, guys jumped off of Hell in the Cells into
Yeah,
like
but-
trash
but
bins.
He has more credibility than anybody in that company.
Yeah.
What are you gonna? If you start bashing Mick Foley for something publicly, you're gonna lose a lot of people. People love Mick Foley.
Yeah. Right.
He's just a genuinely nice person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's
He's been in
great.
the industry forever. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
What
Um,
he said wasn't just some off the cuff stuff. He's been in the industry. I started watching him as Cactus Jack.
Cactus
in the
Jack,
mid-
baby,
early
dude, love.
mid-90s.
Dude,
All right.
love. I love those characters.
The early
I
mid
feel
'90s
this.
when he was at WCW and NWA days. That's
Yeah.
him and Buzz Sawyer. So he knows he what he's talking about, and he's one of the few guys that you could say something about.
there you go.
And-
Yeah,
Yeah, there he goes.
All right, so this is Mick Foley talking about the substance and recent events not recent events, but how the WWE has changed since the glory days, if you want to call them that. Can you guys share the audio, man? let me do it. I have I think I have a kind of a better connection than most people. I used to not. I used to have terrible.
Used to cut out. I remember back in those.
Yeah, because
early
I was
days.
I was going from a laptop. Get that out of here.
Yeah, he was.
Video
Wow.
WWE.
What the hell,
We've got
Caden,
a
dude?
problem.
Stop.
Oh, you had it.
yeah, I heard it. Yeah, that's a better one.
I'd like to title this video WWE. We've got a problem. Because I think you do. And that problem is that WWE is no longer the place for talent to aspire to. Part of it is because AEW is doing a great job of attracting great talent, proven talent, building other talent, creating storylines. But part of it is a problem of your own making. I think younger talent sees the way that developmental characters are cut or left by the wayside, or in the case of Karrion Kross, greatly watered down and even made a joke of when they debut on the main roster. It's not broke. Don't fix it. If I was an aspiring talent now, big league talent with a major decision to make, I'm not sure that I would trust WWE Creative to do the right thing with my career. You guys did wonders with me back in the day. But that was a different time. Different place. If it was today, I'm not sure I would trust the powers to be with my career in their hands. And until that changes, WWE, you've got a problem.
Goddamn, Mick Foley guy. I love this guy. That was hard.
He
That
even did that in the form of a promo.
Yeah, that was.
You
That
don't
was
get
hard,
that.
man.
You don't lose that talent to cut promos like that. It's amazing.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah,
not
that's-
coming from a wrestling fan. I mean, I'm sure he's a fan of the industry. That's coming from a legend, a WWF WWE legend.
Yeah, don't they call him that? Legends or something
He's a
like
Hall
that?
of Famer. Is it whatever?
Yeah,
that
Hall of Famer. They call him like
Hall of Famer.
legends. or
He was
something.
part of probably the best Hall of Fame class ever. In all
Yeah.
honesty, let's be real.
Yeah.
I mean, I know wrestling from back then, right? I once it was kind of like once like John Cena and CM Punk came, I was like, I'm out. Like it got way too flashy.
Well,
and,
would you like to know, Ty, that your rival Enosh is a massive CM Punk fan?
Yeah,
we live streamed
well,
that when he first came on Rampage. It was fun.
Yeah, I was
Like,
with you there, William. Yeah.
I just,
And
I,
Miller,
didn't-
you were there too.
I
That
just
was
didn't
great.
care for the storylines anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like back in the day, watching Booker T and Gold Dust and
Well, that
all
was the
those
Ruthless
guys,
Aggression
like,
era. That was
yeah.
the Ruthless Aggression era.
You came in
Like-
in a bad era, unfortunately.
Ruthless Aggression.
No, I
That's
was in the,
interesting.
I was in the late '90s, early 2000s.
Oh, yeah, late-
I think that was a great. Time.
Most people,
There's,
I think,
I watched '80s wrestling too, though. Like, cause we really did love it, and my cousin would show me all like the Ultimate Warrior, Ric Flair, you know, all those guys. Like, you gotta have respect for them. Even like Owen Hart, people like that. I really, you know, you got to know those guys to understand the guys that came in afterwards.
My
And,
opinion, the Ruthless Aggression era and that Attitude era, it packed their stadiums.
It did.
But those two eras did more to drive general and casual wrestling fans away than anything they ever did, including what
Interesting.
they currently do now. If you look
I
at it
mean,
for the television audience, 'cause
There's
it's-
like nothing better than like Undertaker and Kane and like
you got 3 hours to
Stone
fill.
Cold and The Rock. The Rock was a little flash. I get that. But I like Triple H. Clearly everyone likes Triple H. I mean, I don't know what he goes
didn't he
by
recently
now.
almost have didn't he have like a cardiac arrest
yeah,
recently?
he's okay. There's a heart issue that he had, a degenerative heart issue.
How old is
that
he
had to
now?
get fixed, but he's
He's
52.
40s. He's 50.
Remember,
Yeah, he's gonna
remember that guy in his
52.
prime, dude. He was huge.
When he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
what
huge.
There was allegations that a lot of people thought he took some, you know, but
Dude, back then they didn't.
Yeah.
they
They all
probably,
did,
they probably
unfortunately.
like if
Well,
you're
no, like,
wrestling and you're not taking steroids, what are you doing?
From what Paul said though, like from what Paul says in his interviews about when he hung out with the Clique, he was the only one that didn't because they needed a DD.
Yeah.
they admitted that. They admitted that he was he wasn't the one that gets drunk, so he's always like the designated driver. He's always like the sober, clean one, like of the
Yeah.
group.
Well, steroids don't mess you up, guys. I don't know where you're going with that.
Well,
Steroids,
no, I'm just saying, like-
steroids don't impair your driving.
No, what I'm saying though is that Triple H is like Punk when he like straight edge. He doesn't do like
I
anything.
applaud Triple H for putting up with that,
okay,
especially with
okay.
Shawn Michaels.
I got.
You know what Shawn Michaels is like.
Jesus.
Those guys really, like I said, the problem is there's when you're wrestling, you're a professional, you're a independent contractor, so there's no health plan or anything for you. So when you
Yeah.
can't work, you don't get paid. You're on the road 260 out of 360 some odd days a year. Your body is eventually going to break down, and you're going to have to do things to stay in the game. And unfortunately, 75% of everybody who wrestled from a certain time to a certain time was on it. And they were on
Yeah.
it to a different degree or not. And now they're having issues. Most of these guys aren't making it to 70 because as your heart and everything else ages, that damage catches up to you. Both road warriors are dead.
I say the guys, the wrestlers now, they're wrestling now, will have a longer lifespan because they don't do as much. They don't do the drinking, the drugs, and
And
because
the house shows, they don't do
Yeah.
they don't do as much traveling. If you look,
Yeah, because they used to do like, I think it was like because you got to think like only 3 or 4 shows get taped, right? Or 2 shows get taped, right?
yeah, 2 shows
all,
a week.
all the rest of them
every year.
are, but they travel like
yeah,
340 days of the year. Right? There's
Taking
only
hits.
365, so they're home for 35 days. a
taking
year.
hits and getting
All
That's
better.
why a
day.
lot of them went to WCW, man.
Yeah.
When all of them went to WCW, the top stars, they get like 100 days on the road. That's it.
Yeah,
And a lot of AEW is doing a little bit like that too, because like I
Yeah.
said, it kind of sucks when you're not a 50-year-old man and you're watching all the people in your childhood that you grew up watching are dead. I was
Yeah.
watching one video where everybody in the in the video was pretty much dead.
yeah,
know,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
crazy, right?
His
It's
bulldogs
crazy.
are gone.
Roddy Piper infamously said that he believes he won't make it to a certain age, and he didn't. He was off by a few years, and that really hurt me.
Said he would not
That
make
hurt
it
me.
to
I
65, and he died at 61.
Yeah, and
It sucked.
But
Yeah.
we're gonna transition, guys. So
Alright.
the Injustice trailer came out, and I do want to take a look at it because this is
Bloody violence.
something I've been really excited for.
Imagine meeting you here, Lewis.
This is a priority call to all Justice League members. A woman is.
Did you guys play the Injustice games? Those are the only video games I've ever played.
Yeah.
I have not played.
I did.
videos in a while. Stories.
Brace yourself!
You took his wife. You took his unborn child. and his city. Why?
After all these years, Batsy, you really need reasons from me?
What happened to Metropolis can never be allowed to occur again.
You'll throw away everything the Justice League stands for.
You know what's about to happen to Joker, baby. He's about to get his.
I am not a fan of this Joker's voice.
He's about to get Superman's arm right through his chest. So, for anyone who's fans of the Injustice games and then the tie-in comics that came out, this should be a real treat for you because it's gonna be a DC movie event. It's not technically in the DCEU, but it exists outside of that as an alternate story, just like Injustice does. In the
I
comic book.
call it Justice Verse.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And you can see just by like if you do look at the comics for the Injustice ones or the video games, you can see stuff that Zach did pull from it as well as other comic storylines.
Mhm.
And I really, really do love. I just love seeing the comparisons and seeing that stuff get taken. Because like even if you watch Batman: The Long Halloween, you can see where Chris Nolan took inspiration for certain things, right? And it's just cool to see those other things come to life. This Injustice story is kind of newer, right? It's different. Are you guys a fan of the what they do in that stuff?
I am.
Yeah.
By the way, Ty, you'll find this interesting. So, and I'm only bringing this up because we're talking about Injustice, but you know who Ed Boon is, right?
Ed Boon.
The Mortal Kombat guy, yeah, who loves to troll people on Twitter. He posted an image of Wolverine blocking somebody's finisher. He's like, wouldn't this be a great clash up? You know how like in Injustice 2 when they clash, they like say dialogue?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a picture of Wolverine from X-Men Origins Wolverine the game. He's like, wouldn't this be a great clash up scene? And it's just like I think they're doing a more. I think they might be doing a some type of Marvel fighting. He's trolling too hard about this to not to be real. But yeah, I'm a massive fan of Injustice 1 and Injustice 2. Injustice 2 is my favorite game of 2017. I played that game.
I know my former co-host Justice didn't enjoy that's weird.
That's
he
ironic.
Didn't like Injustice 2, but I think Injustice. I love that storyline. I love the alternate Earth, like that, like crazy, really out there kind of like we don't know, like why is Superman acting like this? Why is he like that? But then like you can feel empathy, like for Joker blows up the city that he's from and kills his wife. Like, wouldn't you go crazy as well?
Also, he basically, and I hate that they edited the clip in the trailer, but what he says to Batman is, I got bored playing with you, Batsy. I wanted to play on easy mode.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god.
Because Joker said Superman is kind of easy to manipulate because he hasn't gone through as much pain. He doesn't know how to deal with it like Batman has. Basically, that's why.
And it's a really fun story.
I think I take from it this is based on the comics that leads up to the video game, because in the video games, it's another universe. The video game, the first game is a multiverse game, right?
Yeah, so you get the good Justice League versus the bad Justice League.
I don't get the sense in this movie that's the case.
No.
Well, there's a time leap. There's a time leap in the first game. We see like the death of Lois and all that, but then we get a time skip, and bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, I just would have seen this in Zack Snyder's Justice League part, whatever, than having to settle. I mean, I know the game's going to be great, but I look at these aspects of it and it just makes me angry that, I don't get to see.
Well, that's part of where he got his inspiration from, and I knew a lot of people. That didn't like that because like it had just came out when like Man of Steel was out and all that, and when this universe was being built, like Injustice, it just came out. It was a fresh IP. They wanted more classic tales being told, and I understand that.
It came out like in April of the same year, and Man of Steel came out like in June, July.
Yeah. And so like I do prefer Injustice 2 only because the character roster is amazing, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna be a stan. The fact that I can play as Hellboy versus Batman just makes me so happy as a human being.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nerd.
And I love the Injustice storyline, and it's fun to see like where the other directors take inspiration from. It is a shame that we're not going to be able to see where Zach was going to take this. Most likely, we're not going to be able to see where Zach was originally going to take this, because I think the Nightmare timeline, like a whole movie set in that. Oh my god,
it would be cheap. You wouldn't even have to spend a lot of money.
You would not have to spend a lot of money, and
Some of the actors are good. You don't have to spend money on Gal Gadot because she's out of the movie.
Yeah, she's dead. Aquaman.
And it's in the desert. You can come to Vegas.
Literally.
Desert. You're done.
And
also with the volume now. You can also
and the volume. You have the volume. If you could have access to it as a DC, you'd have to pay. You could get access to it easily.
Is using the volume. Like
that's true.
That's the future right there. That's it. That's the future.
The volume is used by BBC. Is used by Warner Brothers, but it's owned by ILM, which ILM is under Disney contract.
That's like the Sony Walkman.
They can still rent
somebody
the
will make
space
their
out.
own version.
Yeah, during COVID, people understood, and like they probably rented the space out. They're still paying good money to use it, of course, because you have to bring those resources in.
They have 3 volumes in the UK. They have 2 in Australia, 4 in LA. They have 2 in Atlanta. It's like they're everywhere now.
Yeah, and they're good.
They're
like
building
that's
some in Canada.
Yeah, that's going to be the future of movie making. Like it's 100%.
Especially with streaming being the focal point of a lot of these movies, and it's the way to go. And like I said, once
it's quick, it makes production quicker, so you can do 2 seasons back to back. You can do 2 movies back to back like that.
Yeah.
It's
and I like how I think a lot of people right. So I don't think people really understand. Imagine you're in a like a car or something like that, right? And there's all these green screens around you, and the director's telling you, hey, it's gonna look like this, or you have to react like that because the environment, whatever, something blows up in the distance, yada yada. And you have 3 other people you're acting with, right? Each one of you is thinking about something this world that you're in looks different in each one of your minds, right? The volume allows you to all be in the same environment, reacting to the same things. You're in the world. You're bringing pre, post, and everything all into one group. Everyone's working together.
Thank you, Jungle Book and Lion King.
They were the predecessors.
They were the ones that brought in the volumes. Without those 2 movies, we would not have volume.
Because he, you know why? Because he had a problem, and that was the solution. So
because he was the way he explained it was like on Jungle Book, Mowgli is walking on this big blue block with this blue tube next to him, which the blue tube is supposed to be Nagini, the snake, but he's reacting to the wrong part of the snake, and so it's like you can't. And then he was doing VR and gaming techniques for Lion King, and then he was like, "What if we made this VR thing this big wall?" Yeah. And then that's what happened.
Yep.
And the Mandalorian just came and sealed it as far as
sealed the deal, baby. Yeah. I remember what's Carl Weathers, right? He was talking about his experience, and he was just like, "This is the greatest thing to ever happen to filmmaking." He's like, you can't tell where the practical
built into the wall.
Yeah,
flamethrower built in the wall, and all
it's
these
crazy.
things.
It's great.
And
no one's the wiser either. If you didn't know what the volume was, you'd be like, "Wow, they're on set. They're on location."
Yeah.
But here's the thing about the Justice League stuff. When Warner Discovery takes over, they're going to look at the inventory of HBO Max. I love HBO Max. It's my favorite of the streaming services as far as
mine too,
what I watch. Yeah. There's not enough stuff on there to get to the volume of people that they want to keep. And how many subscribers do they have now? Does anybody know what because it changes?
It changes radically.
So high, say they got 35, 40 million. In order to keep somebody on board,
you need to give more content.
More stuff. And be honest with you, people. Go ahead.
68 million, right?
Okay, so 68 million times $14. That's about $700 million a month, if I'm right.
It's a great amount of money to make things.
They also created a new plan where it's the ad one where you can.
Yeah, the ad
you
free.
don't get the movies. You don't get the movies that come.
So we'll average it out at like $11.99.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
average it out at like $11.99 to just give it credence, right? That's a lot of money to put into content each month, right? That is a shit ton of money.
And they don't have enough.
And we have Walter Hamada who won't greenlight anything except things like Batgirl and Blue Beetle, right? for what we don't even know who our Justice League is, and we're getting Blue Beetle.
Yeah, they got
right, guys.
gotta
We
do
need
what
our
Disney is doing.
foundations. We need our
Well,
foundations.
do what Disney's doing. Put out the volume. Here's the thing. Any argument against not continuing, and I know we've had people on your show that'll argue against it as far as the budgets and all that goes. When you're pulling in that much a month and your main goal is retaining and growing, these budgets are going to be negligible. Plus, you don't have enough content. They're going to greenlight stuff like the stuff we don't, the Blue Beetle and all that stuff. We're like, what the hell are you guys doing? That stuff's going to get greenlit. But when Warner Brothers Discovery merges, a whole bunch of stuff is going to get greenlit. The stuff we like and some of the stuff we don't like because you need content. There's a lot of stuff on Netflix that's garbage.
Yeah, but
there's gonna be a lot of there's like from the month of July to August.
Netflix takes chances. That's the thing, though.
Be greenlit.
Netflix will take chances.
Aaron, you are 100% right.
Yeah.
What Netflix does really good is they know they make a lot of money, and they invest it back into the content that they put out. Sometimes not so great. Sometimes really good, like The Witcher, right? And they take chances, they take risks because they know that they need content on the streaming service, right? Regardless, they need to put something out. They also have faith in their creators, and they take risks when needed. They backed up. What was that show that they backed up hard after
Lucifer? They saved Lucifer, and it's done.
No, I'm talking about like someone was mad. Like,
but then they also saved Manifest.
Did he save? They saved the show Manifest or something.
That I'm sorry.
That show's terrible.
I know. I never
really
watched
it. It has a huge audience though.
Yeah, but it's really bad.
Have at it, man.
It's really. I watched 22 minutes of it. I promise, and I was like, "What the is this?"
Like the same thing, like with all like how people like go bonkers, like how they hate stuff, but like with like stuff like Manifest, Titans, CW, they have huge audiences that bring in money to them.
Yeah, of course.
So
like
it's
Netflix is really smart, really smart, and like
they know it brings in audiences.
I mean, Apple and Amazon are the exact same thing. They know what they're doing.
With the Lord of the Rings show, which is the most expensive show being made right now, and the actors didn't even know how long ago for production they were.
Yeah, they're going to get lifelong. Our Lord of the Ring fans are going to inject that stuff right into their veins.
Oh yeah,
I
am. Metaverse. What are you gonna say? Nope. The metaverse.
I was gonna say, do you know they're adding games to their streaming service, right?
Yeah.
Next year.
Netflix.
How is that possible?
They did that with.
They are, man. I covered that.
How is that even possible?
So, are you saying how is it possible because of all the stuff they're already doing?
No. How is that? Because I have Netflix. I don't have a contrloller to play any video games.
It's not out yet. It's still in beta.
It's a long way off.
Is it going to be a third-party product that you have to buy?
No, it's going to be included in your subscription service for free. From what I read, it's going to be included in your subscription service for free. I don't know about controllers and all that stuff. It's supposed to be coming out slowly over the next few years. I think right now it's in like a demo phase in like some European countries. It's weird, but the reason I mentioned that is because like they have all these video game related shows, and it would as your man also said earlier, behoove them to try to get some of the licensing rights to some of the game properties that they're making shows for. That way, if I want to play Cuphead after watching the Cuphead show, I can do that. Or The Witcher. If they get The Witcher, dude, oh my god.
They're gonna
Castlevania, just there's
Pokemon.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Pokemon, there's so many gaming IPs that Netflix has in their disposal right now. If they get the gaming licenses to those, it makes all the sense in the world.
They're not even a license, a joint contract, where they're a revenue sharing contract.
Oh yeah,
they're getting a crap load of money.
Go ahead. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, it just makes it's because it's that human nature of like, when you it's like man, I just watched the Injustice animated film. I think I'm gonna play some Injustice now.
Yeah,
it's that mindset
right there. And here's the thing: this is what Warner Discovery is going to need once they merge. What they've suffered from the last 8 years now, is a failure of imagination. And when you're running a comic book IP and the type of IPs they have, a failure of imagination is like is going to war with no bullets and no armor.
right?
I'll agree that they have a lack of imagination in certain departments, but like we're just talking about the gaming department. I'm so hyped for both Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Like both those games look fantastic.
That should have been the movie. Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League should have been the movie. I
would say Gotham Knights should have been like a HBO Max series at best.
Yeah, those are, but that's what's cool about like the DC side of things, right? Is they're a little bit more lenient with like their multiverse, and like they will include stuff like that, like Injustice.
I don't know if
right?
lenient's the word I would use.
No,
Disorganized,
I hear you. I hear you.
I was gonna say, can I just add real quick? I mentioned this on my show. I just want to say it here because it's just I just love saying it. Like, can we just admire like the time we live in, where superhero video games are like probably at their renaissance with how great they are. Like we have the Arkham series, we have Wolverine and the Spiderman games on Marvel side. We have Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad on DC side. Like never before has it been like this big to have superhero games on your consoles.
Right.
Hey, Caiden, bring up if you could bring up some graphics of the 80s video games and the Atari stuff I got to play.
You paid over $120 for games that weren't there.
I mean,
I know what they look like.
The worst shooting smaller squares at each other.
The worst video game of all time was a superhero game, and that's Superman 64.
No. Okay, pull up Activision's Pitfall. Pull up Pitfall from Activision.
E.T. They had a game for E.T. for Atari. Time was great, but
what?
There you go. I don't want to hear.
Hold on.
There's your PlayStation 5.
That game is the game that crashed the gaming market.
Yeah, E.T. I heard that.
2600.
E.T. was the game that
2600. I don't want to hear about your golden era games. Look what I had to grow up with.
Yep.
William, William, your generation crawled so that we could run.
We did. That's not crawling. We were on flat things on the ground.
What do you mean? Dude, that blew people's minds. Are you kidding me?
Some game, right? Some game.
Years ago, ever watched years ago?
I love Atari and all this. I love the old school games.
You ever watch years ago? Average Video Game Nerd did a series on all the Batman games from like the 80s and the early 90s. All the bad Batman games, like the Batman to Return of the Joker from the 89 Joker on regular Nintendo, and then to do like Batman and Robin for Super Nintendo, like all the bad Batman games.
Yeah.
Oh, they're look at that wood paneling on the side there.
Yeah, but then again,
dude,
you got to remember that these were like. Again, just like you go from the Hulk movies to Iron Man, right? It's a transition phase, right? These blew the world up for a while.
They did. I had tears in my eyes when he brought this home.
Yeah.
When we opened up the box.
In China, people were literally going nuts.
We broke the joint. I mean, we ran that thing into the ground. And,
For
and
sure.
the 2600 was all the way in production, all the way up until 89 when they reintroduced it, and people were buying them and still playing them.
Yeah.
So speaking of Netflix, there's a documentary called like High Score or something like that. It's about the journey of like where gaming has been. It's one of the best documentaries I've ever seen, and I legitimately like.
It's really.
I may be a young buck, but when I saw the creator of Space Invaders on screen, I literally like started tearing up. I love Space Invaders. I love all these old games.
And you couldn't beat the game. The thing about the Atari game, there was no beating the game. You were always going to lose Space Invaders. They were always going to crush you. Centipede, they were always going to crush you. The Empire Strikes Back game, you were always going to lose, but you still played the hell out of these games. There was no winning. They let you know you're not going to win, but we want you to play until you're tired, until your thumbs cramp up, and you turn.
But it was more about like getting the high scores and stuff like at that time, right?
Yeah.
So, but all right, so our last thing up that we got for today, after 2.5 hours. So we have some unknown theatrical release dates for Marvel, right?
We do.
Yeah.
I can run down on like all of them.
Sure.
So previously we already knew 3 dates for 2023, but then they added 4 more dates for 2024. The 2023 dates are July 28th, October 6th, and November 10th is 2023. 2024 is February 16th, May 3rd, July 26th, November 8th. And we know that Captain America 4, Deadpool 3, and Fantastic Four, and Blade all are don't have release dates. So 4 things right there.
So
and there's 7
What were you telling me earlier about 8 projects a year?
There's like it's like
4, right?
5 projects in theaters and 5 projects on Disney Plus. It's like 10 projects a year almost now.
So just think about
and then
that
next,
for a
but
second.
next year it's gonna be 8 Disney Plus things.
Yeah, think about that for a second, right? We used to be lucky to get one thing per year, right? One thing from Marvel per year, right? Until
Probably one,
and maybe a DC.
It'd be very,
project.
very special if we got something from DC.
Yes. Now we're in a world where you're getting
Star Wars.
10 things from just Marvel. You get 92 things from Star Wars. And you get
Whatever.
watch
from
some of
DC.
these things.
yeah, and then you get a whatever, like a sprinkle of DC here and there. Like this really is the golden age to watch or be one of us.
Streaming
right?
and
Yeah.
streaming is crazy right now because you have like 5 things for Marvel, 3 to 4 things for Star Wars, and then on DC side you have 4 to 5 things next year as well. So it's
Yeah,
like,
so these dates right here, right? So if I was gonna do them, July 28th, 2023, I'd probably do Deadpool, right? The
I
next
think
one,
that's Captain America 4, because it's starting production in February.
I know Guardians is 2023,
So-
right? Guardians is in 2023.
Guardians, we know the date for.
Yeah.
Guardians is the first movie we know for. Is
well,
the
would this
first
be
film.
Phase 5 at this point?
No,
Nah, we're still
Phase
2023?
4 ends. Phase 4, and we don't know when Phase 4 ends.
I think if there's no pandemic, it probably would have been phase 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, but right now we don't know when
Yeah.
Phase
Okay,
5 starts.
Well,
but I
okay,
think
so Captain America 4, Deadpool 3. We're going through my head. I also want to introduce Fantastic Four as quick as possible.
Me too.
Please.
yeah, so yeah,
They probably will.
Fantastic Four,
They'll probably end the
Blade.
phase with that.
Cap, and Deadpool 3.
I actually
which
think
was-
that's going to be the cinema.
Because I feel like Deadpool is not. I hate to say this, but I feel like Deadpool is not high on their priority list right now.
Not because it's not theirs. He didn't grow it in his own
Yeah,
garden.
I feel like
He
it's
didn't
not
not
an
on their
MCU
priority
thing.
list.
his own garden.
It's Ryan Reynolds and Kevin Feige's baby that they're dealing on one side to
Yeah.
integrate into Kevin Feige's real baby.
But I think you would have to introduce
weird
maybe
analogy.
the Fantastic Four before.
Yeah,
Like,
so I
there's
think
you
what
got to
would
do this a
happen
certain
is-
way.
So I think July 28th. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Yeah, July 28th you have Cap 4, and then October 6th you have with Blade. Then November you have Fantastic Four. Then February 16th of 2024 you have Deadpool 3, and that will be the first film for that. And then you have May, then you have July, then you have November of those 3 unannounced projects.
They should,
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I
They should
think
know this-
Fantastic Four is going to be what Avengers was to that phase. Those
Yeah,
I actually think
honestly.
Fantastic
Yeah.
Four
To
is
see
gonna
a
be the
proper
successor.
Fantastic Four on the screen,
And everything will branch from there because if you look at the way from the first 12 years of Marvel, all your villains and heroes came from a handful of books. Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, a couple of so Galactus. I cannot wait to see Galactus.
Proper.
But who were we talking?
Not a
Was it
cloud.
you, Meta?
God,
I forget who I was talking to the other day, but like after seeing Shang-Chi and like everything, I'm 100% certain that they're going the Galactus route.
I think so too.
Not
And Galactus is going to be coming.
Have you seen
but-
Shang-Chi yet? Has everyone seen it?
Yeah.
I haven't.
You haven't seen it, William?
No. Yeah, again, here's the thing. I don't like kung fu movies.
It's
And
so
somebody,
much
and I'm
more
going to
than
see it.
that.
Hold on,
Okay.
I'm going to see it. Somebody compared it to one of the few movies that I actually got I paid for, got up and walked out. Somebody said Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
No,
Oh,
there's
I think that's probably TW.
Okay. There were elements that were similar, but it paid homage when it needed to. But it's its own thing entirely.
I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go
no,
see
no,
it.
no,
It's
I
just,
want-
it was never at the top of I was never clamoring for a Shang-Chi. movie.
Yeah.
I was never waking up in a cold sweat being like, my God, please somebody announce a Shang-Chi. Great as it might be, it's just
I'm
not,
with you,
not my
man.
list.
So my question is this: when they do Galactus,
hold
is he going to lose to Ghost Rider with the penance stare again?
No,
Or
stop
like,
bringing up
what, like
those
Thanos
characters,
getting beat
too.
by Hellcat?
No.
I mean, come on.
Oh, don't
Stop
do
bringing up those idiotic Ghost
think-
Rider movies.
Do you think they're gonna send
Whoa.
Silver Surfer
But,
first? Then Galactus is
But,
coming.
Okay, before we go any further, but because the Shang-Chi director did say that if you know the comics, they'll follow the comics on that aspect.
Okay, and
So
I know
if
the
you
comics,
know,
so
yeah, if you know the comics
right.
for Shang-Chi and that lore, you know what they're doing with that aspect. So that's when I know it's not Galactus that those things are doing. It's the other thing that people thought was going to be in this movie that was in this movie.
I think you have to see Eternals.
Shang-Chi is not going to
interesting.
determine. I'm saying after seeing Shang-Chi and what they want to do with the universe, I'm not saying that Shang-Chi showed Galactus or anything. I'm saying
I know
that
it
seems
I thought you were
okay. If you're gonna do a villain that's gonna top Thanos, who's on your list?
Well, mine's already been answered.
Galactus, number one. Boom, right there.
Some people are saying Doom can be.
You can't. Doctor Doom is a great villain, but he's
Doctor Doom
not
to me
a
is Loki
Thanos
level.
threat.
You can't one note Doctor Doom. He has to be a ongoing villain.
Well,
But
you
Doom
have two of
is
them
going to
already.
be a low. Doom is a great villain.
Doom is going to be a Loki.
Yes.
Oh,
A
he'll be a
recurring
fantastic-
Like more.
threat.
If they do him right.
But Doom also can tie to Galactus, right?
Yeah.
I
With the
think that
Berserker.
he's already
Yeah.
he's already been announced. I think Kang is going to be the biggest bad for right now. He's going to be the Thanos for this phase.
He's, no. So you
I've
can't
heard
say he's a
that,
Thanos
but
though,
I don't think so though.
because there's no such thing as a
Kang
Thanos
is
right
gonna
now.
be I think Kang and Doom are the Lokis, while Galactus will be the Thanos.
Kang is good because he can show up, right? He can keep our villains busy. I mean, our heroes busy in multiple different ways, right? He's multiple different characters at multiple different times.
Roma-Tut,
Now,
Red Centurion.
But it's such a smart move by Marvel
If
because
they're-
you get 5 villains out of one guy, right? You keep the heroes busy while this threat is looming in the background, right? Growing Galactus, or it could be Doom at that point.
I actually
and then
think the
we get
enemy that you've
introduced.
already seen is good that they're about to introduce is the overarching enemy, and there will be the Celestials. People don't understand just how
the great
they can literally warp reality. They are literally a reality warping cosmos within armor, and they're here to judge Earth basically, up or down.
Yeah, we've already had Ego and we've already had Nowhere, which Nowhere is a dead celestial, while Ego is also now a dead celestial, but he was.
I think they're going to explain more Celestials and Eternals.
They're going to do that absolutely. But I think if you're going to do Secret Wars as like the big,
please don't
amalgamation.
Secret Wars?
It's no. It's not going to be based on the one like the old one. It's going to be based on the more recent one with the multiverses clashing. I think that Kang is going to cause Secret War to happen.
Yeah, but because the show is called the Disney Plus show, right? Is Secret Invasion, right?
That's
that's
Secret. Yeah, that's just this. Yeah,
one of the great storylines.
They better not do a Secret Wars on Disney Plus.
That's where it's going to be.
No,
I'm sorry. Not Secret Wars. Not Secret Wars. I'm sorry. Secret Invasion is going to be on Disney Plus. I'm sorry.
And I just said that. Yeah.
Wars is
but
you cannot
Wars,
do that
gonna
grand of a thing on.
Oh, that's going to be an
Disney Plus.
amalgamation movie.
It has to be like an Avenger-sized movie.
That's going to be like an Endgame type movie. That's what I'm saying.
It has to be Infinity War Endgame.
Maybe a two-parter. It should be a two-parter.
That's where you're gonna get. That's where I've been saying that's where you're gonna get if What If does successful enough. That's where I think you're gonna see cameos from people like Captain Carter and potentially other versions of Marvel characters. Potentially,
It could be Disney Plus.
Yeah, Johnny Cage would be great.
No, you can't do that shit on Disney Plus.
Here's the problem. Here's what we think. The conventional way of thinking about everything that has to be on the cinematic screen is the old way of thinking. But when we just discussed with the monthly revenue that you pull in on streaming, and it being the
I think you can do a lead up to Secret Wars on Disney Plus with Loki season.
But are they going to make less money? Are they going to if you're talking about retention?
Because 5 to 10 years from now, I think.
No, I'm talking about now.
I hope.
If you're talking about something like a Secret Invasion or a Secret Wars would do along the lines of something that Mandalorian did, which was bring new people and attract and retain. Retention's a big key. How much are you making on a movie when you spend $200-300 million on it? And okay, you make $1 billion, you make 1.2. How much of that does a studio take home? You have loans on the movie, you have percentages, you have production costs. When you're streaming, you're eliminating almost $500 million in expenses, long range expenses, and there's other people who get their cut. You have to make residual deals and secondary deals to get all that money back, so everybody is eating at the table. With streaming, you get that in a month. You get within 2 months on streaming. If you retain your your subscribers, and you're making 700 million. If you do the math, 700, 800 million a month. In 2 months, you just justified keeping it on there.
I just don't see a grand scale thing like that. Everyone watching it on their TVs
Because we think of we're using the old rules. I'm not saying this is what they would do.
But
math,
okay,
math dictates this.
Yeah, but why are we this?
Because you cut out middle people.
But why does that have to be the thing, right? Like, why is that? I would want this on a cinematic scale.
You got to realize,
regardless of all that,
Disney, they're looking at costs. Right now, the biggest moneymaker for Disney is their parks, and those are hurting. So you're going to have to trim and do things, and refine things, and you're going to go where you can make the quickest amount of profit and the quickest value.
You think after the success that Disney and Marvel have had, they're worried about that?
You have Sako, yeah. That's why you lay off people. That's why Disney's being ran. The Disney parks are being ran the way they are, with Chapek doing some of the things.
Well, I mean, I understand why Disney parks aren't doing so well right now.
And then you have COVID, you have everything else. But this cuts out. In order to get the most money, you have to cut out as many people as possible between you and your money.
I think they'll build up certain characters on Disney Plus, like they're doing with Moon Knight.
No matter what the money says, I cannot justify seeing a grand, like Avengers Endgame, watching it on my. I have a great setup. I really do.
Until someone does it.
Yeah, I do.
It hasn't been done before.
I have an 85-inch OLED and like $3,000 surround. Right. I really can. I do have a movie theater.
What the hell's going on there? But do I have? Here's an example. Here's an example for me. Do I ever need to see The Mandalorian on a big screen? No, and that's done wonders for Disney.
But you're talking about Secret Wars, bruh.
There's talking
literally
about
hundreds.
No. Secret Wars is going to be a movie.
Yeah.
You, like I said, under the old rules, I would 100% agree. But we're in a new era now. We're in
that's metaverse. That's what me and William have been.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah.
This whole time, that's what we've been arguing about.
An event like Secret. I will say, like, an event like Secret Invasion is a big event in of itself, because it happened in the comics.
Well,
right
the
after
invasion,
Civil
right?
War.
You find out the Skrulls are impersonating, right?
Yeah, they've been
they're impersonating certain heroes,
which is crazy. That's a huge reveal.
The greatest covers of any multi-level.
They were fantastic. Like that whole arc was like so.
How we get the evil Skrulls finally in the Secret Invasion?
So I don't know, like, if you know the archetype.
I do. You know what would be a huge reveal? Like if one of our Avengers turned out to be a Skrull the whole time.
There's a theory that
credence for Hawkeye. I'm just saying.
Like
there's a theory that Marie Hill has never existed, and that it's always been Talos' wife. Yeah, that she's never existed.
See, if we get one of those reveals,
the Eternal too. So.
Yeah, if we get one of those reveals, like where someone we've grown together with 10 years plus, turns out that the whole time, right? Obviously not really the whole time because it's a movie, but
a certain point in time,
they've been a Skrull, right? And we've been rooting for them the whole time.
That would Spider-Man.
That'd be a
God damn it, William.
Spider-Man's a Skrull, and he goes back to Sony after.
God damn it, y'all.
That would be such a blow, though. Like imagine Hawkeye has been a Skrull the whole time.
They'll burn this.
The way I see Secret Invasion happening is it's the government. It's like because the government worked with Shield, and Shield was disbanded, and they thought that Shield has also disbanded their Skrull initiative type thing where the Skrulls were working for Shield. But when the government finds out that hasn't happened and they're Skrulls, then you have people that like Happy Gilmore's character, who's like an Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson character, finds out that his governor is actually a Skrull. I've been lied to this whole time, and he goes like that crazy, he obviously he's a recurring character because he's like that, he's the psycho Tucker Carlson.
Did you say
Alex
Happy
Jones type.
Gilmore, by the way?
You did.
Yeah.
Happy
Because
Hogan.
that's
Scooter McGavin. Yes.
Right?
I was so confused by what you're talking about. I was like, wait. I was like, what?
Like, I didn't want to interrupt him.
I just hope that after
as soon as I said that, I was like,
that would be a huge major blow, though. That's what I'm saying. Imagine the weight of that on you. Like, oh my god,
like you finding out that
what?
the people that you've trusted,
yeah, because right, we've grown together
someone
with
that
them.
it's not.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh snap! Like,
they need to
do I
do
trust
that.
this person still? Like,
I'm gonna say they 100% need that
I
weight
think
of it, right?
they definitely are doing it, and because
the Skrulls, so
like we
it's
know
kinda
them
weird.
to be good.
Yeah,
because
but
we know that they've been identified as bad guys by the Krees, which we knew were bad as well, but we didn't know to the extent how bad they were.
right, but look
We
at
just
the
knew
human
that-
race, right?
Yeah,
Some
they
people
had
are
no clue.
good, some people
Yeah.
are bad,
Yeah,
right?
And
Plus,
so
you have
I
all the
think-
riot gene.
Oh, you're gonna have
Yeah,
you're,
you have
you're gonna have
bad
heavy
people,
political
good
overtones
girls,
in this one, by the
and
way.
then
Oh yeah.
you're gonna have the good, you can have the bad, you can have the middle.
Ooh, Anthony, yeah, Sharon might be a Skrull too.
Yeah, she,
I
Yeah,
don't think she's
that's
a
why.
Skrull.
That's why she
I don't-
wouldn't hook up with Steve for too long, because she was a Skrull and she didn't.
Yeah,
want to get
that's
found out
why.
by Cap.
She's a
That's
Skrull
why. Wink,
because-
wink.
Yep.
Because they
Not because he was dating
That
his
75 booty,
girlfriend's
75 year
fiance.
booty call wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
he
Jesus.
did or acted.
He said, "I can't get Peggy." Sharon, what's up, baby?
I'll say this right now.
You know
He
your
ended up
grandma
with a
was
better
hot.
one.
Yeah. Not so much. I don't think so.
What was that?
I don't think so. But
No, no, yeah.
it's my preference for blondes, I suppose.
I prefer redheads. You can prefer blondes all you want.
Yeah, I'm a
Hot
Sharon
take.
kind of guy. I was hyped.
Of course
for
you
him.
are.
I was hyped for him in Civil War. I was like, finally, my boy Steve is moving on.
No, I got the ending I wanted with Cap and Endgame. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Ty.
it was
I'm sorry.
cool.
I
It
got
was
my
cool.
ending.
I
Some
I
people
can't buy
hate
it.
that
It's-
ending.
Even
because they
in
ruined
Endgame?
Agent Carter.
I got my
Some people
ending,
hate
bro.
The ending for Captain America that ruins the Agent Carter ending or whatever.
But
I
Agent
think
Carter's
all
no longer
that should've
canon, so
been
screw
done.
that.
Yeah,
I think
I think they
Carter-
scrapped that, right?
Adventure movies.
Yeah.
Kind of like Inhumans. They
Agents of
just
Shield
tossed
and
that to the
Agent
side.
Carter.
Yeah.
And all the
Inhumans-
Marvel
Carter's no longer
TV
canon.
stuff.
Remember? Do
Anything
you guys
under
re-
Jeff Loeb, tossed in the trash can.
Do you guys remember what in the Inhumans debacle?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep. Fine. You
How
want to make it a
important
movie?
that
And
was gonna
use
be,
Inhumans
and then-
as the X-Men replacement,
Hey,
but like
Agent
what
Shield
the hell that happened?
was a better job of the Inhumans than that terrible Inhuman show. I mean,
That
I
pilot,
love Kamala
sunk that thing to the
character.
bottom of the
Well,
ocean.
originally it was on the slate as a film, and then
Yeah, it was.
it got changed. I saw it in IMAX because they did that limited release for
Right.
IMAX for it, the first two
Oh
episodes.
my god, it was terrible.
And I was
I'm sorry.
so let down. So let down. I was
The
like,
Medusa
what
hair,
is
like
it?
the reason why they cut her hair is because they didn't want to pay to do more CGI with her hair. Even in
Yeah.
the episode when she did the CGI for her hair.
They got
CGI
Ramsey
for her was
Bolton too,
terrible.
man. They had Ramsey
Like,
Bolton. in
Yeah,
that.
they had
The
that,
Black Bolt.
that's
Hey, Rian,
Like-
Rian, he was one of the better actors of his
he
generation.
was. He
They-
was.
he got killed off of Game of Thrones just for that.
And also
His
like,
death
just,
in
like
Game
Like-
of
Mad
Thrones
Max
was epic.
wasn't even like
Are you kidding me, dude?
like I was
Yes.
like I was
Battle of
let
the
down by
Bastards.
Mad Max with his character, and it was just like
Yeah, there was a
I
ton
just
of
hope-
there was a ton of fails there, and it
yeah.
it really showed for once like Marvel is not above anything.
No, they
right?
don't. They're not perfect. But here's the thing between them and DC is
Well, it's
because
different
they've kept
heads that were
Caiden?
controlling that.
they've bought themselves the benefit of the doubt. So even when they put out mediocre stuff every now and
Yeah.
then, they get the benefit of the doubt. Whereas
Yeah.
DC, I don't. Like I said, where's my Batman that you gave me in 2016? Where's my Superman that you started? When you're going to give me a brand new Superman, where's the old one?
Yeah.
Now I'm supposed to get excited about Batman, and I am personally, but even a general non-1%er geek is going to be confused. Your audience and your customer will go where you lead them,
Right.
and if they don't
Yeah.
get there, it's your fault.
What was Zach? Okay, so here's the thing, right? So what was Zach brought in to do?
He was brought in to make the
fundamentally-
Superman universe.
Fundamentally, what was Zach brought in to do?
He was brought in to
Build
make
a
Superman movie.
foundation
And then
for a
after
universe.
this,
Yes.
well, first,
Yeah.
yeah, it was to make a Superman movie, and then in the middle of production, then he was to do more Superman movies.
Right.
and
And build a
possibly team up.
foundation for the DCEU, right? Because
Yeah,
eventually
and
it was
then-
going to branch off into other places.
Yeah, his
right?
was a
Yeah.
5-story arc that was going.
They took that
Yes.
foundation, right? They took the foundation and they kicked the walls in of it, right? We don't know anything.
I
anymore.
got birds of prey. I got
So
birds
why-
of prey out of that.
So,
bad
so
boy.
then you're building a house on top of a broken foundation. Doesn't usually work.
Nope.
Right. So I don't know who my Superman is right now. I don't know where my Batman's gonna go. Right. And we're greenlighting things like Blue Beetle and Batgirl, right? That are supposed to tie back in somehow. Batgirl's got the J.K. Simmons. I get it, right? It was always in Zach's plan to have it. However, I do not know who my Superman is or my Batman, what his future holds, right? So how am I supposed to get excited for anything? Because I don't know I don't know what's going on.
And people, some of the fan people will be like, well, the DC should have done it the way Marvel and started with small characters like Iron Man. Once again, if you think Iron Man's a small character, I pity you.
You're wrong.
But
yeah, I hate when people call Iron Man a B character.
I mean, one of the founding
he's not.
They called
he's
Captain
not
America and Iron Man B characters. I was like, what are you talking
Well,
about?
in
Captain
terms
America was
of-
an A- character, and then
No
Iron
way,
was
minus.
technically a
Get
B+
out of here with that shit.
character,
Bro.
and then once Iron Man came out, like I think like Boris Kitt, who's a writer for like Deadline or whatever, he does like reports on like comic book sales. When looking back when Iron Man came out, Iron Man comic books sales went from 0.05% to 10%. Like that's the raise it went to. So that's why.
Where he got
Are
those
you taking
numbers
account?
from?
Are you taking
No,
account
I'm just
into
saying,
like
it was
what
like a
overall
major- it
comic
wasn't
book sales
exactly
were at the
that,
time?
William, I'm just saying like that was a major rise in between Iron Man comic sales, and then after the Iron Man movie, it went higher. Like
Okay,
double.
let me explain something real quick because I don't dispute what you're saying, but because I was open when Iron Man before that movie came out, during that movie came out, and now it had a temporary spike. But the things that jumped up, it did not outsell the Secret Invasion storylines. The Secret Invasion storylines for Spider-Man outsold the Iron Man movies, the consistency. The problem that Iron Man had between 2006 and 2008 was consistency. And for 18 months after Iron Man was released, you had a spike, but it never even remotely approached that again. It dropped almost 15% within the following months after that. I got my sales charts and it sucked because I like a dummy, I ordered thinking I was
because you're like, oh yeah,
and then watched Iron Man plummet because a lot of the speculator buyers weren't going to really hang on. But the thing about that is what they did for a reason. The reason why you had Iron Man and Captain America and Thor and all these is the order that the Avengers were created in, and the founding members, and their first enemy was what? Well, Loki. Yeah. Guess what? It was in their Avengers movie. They did it. They built their foundation the way they were supposed to, and that's fine. What the problem with Warner Brothers did is they listened to people that had no business listening to. Yes. Don't listen to fanboys. I'm sorry. There's a reason why fanboys like me are sitting in a room like this and I'm not producing movies.
Yes.
So they really needed to set their plan out. Once Zach gave them their plan and they agreed to it, and they did agree to it because they signed him on to he started making these movies, they shouldn't have blinked. See, when Marvel has a crappy, like when Thor Dark World comes out, nobody blinks. Don't have anybody holding a meeting at 12 o'clock at night to fire anybody. You move on.
No.
Right?
They moved on and they hired a new director who they thought would do better, and they blinked. They saw that people loved Thor Ragnarok over Dark World.
Yeah. So Metaverse, you gonna go?
Yeah, I gotta head off, man. I got work in about like 6 hours, so I gotta head off.
Let us know. So you've been doing more live streams, man. So where can people find those?
Yeah, you can find my live stream. I've recently just did one today, actually, going over the PlayStation event. It's on my YouTube channel, Metaverse. If you're unable to find it, which I would assume you would because there's so many Metaverses on YouTube, I have a link on my Twitter account. Go just look me up on Twitter at The Most Meta. I'm also very active on there. If you want to interact with me, I'll more than likely reply. And you can also, I do a podcast, Talking Meta. You can find me on all podcasting platforms you can think of under the sun.
All right, there we go, baby. All right, man. It's always a pleasure to have you on. I always love your input. So
no problem, man.
You're always welcome at the good corner.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. Oh, and I will say also, I am doing a live stream next Friday for THQ Nordic's anniversary stream. They're going to be announcing some more games. So yeah, if y'all want to tune in for that, I'm looking forward to get ready to see a grown man scream his lungs out again.
All right, my friend. I love your passion, man. I love it.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
You got 2 new subscribers now. Look at that.
Hey, thank y'all, man. I appreciate it.
All right, man. We'll see you.
Put a link to your channel in the thing, please.
Yeah.
Give me one moment.
I'll put it there.
Okay.
Oh, no, I can. I mean, I don't mind. I can. I had Twitter up.
I'm
No, there it is.
already on
See,
yours,
but I know my YouTube by heart. I can pop, 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 pop. But mine's, I think you have to get a certain point. You can change it. So I changed it. It's not like random letters anymore. It says it's at Pop Culture Corner. So
when it gives you the Y. capital
William,
P.
yeah, you can
Yeah, I
change it.
put the
subscriber mark.
Okay.
All right, gotcha.
All right, thank you, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll catch y'all later. Y'all have a good one.
You too, my friend.
Later, man.
All right, peace.
Ringing his bell.
All right, and for the chat, I put it in there just in case anyone's looking back. You guys can subscribe to Talking Meta.
I thought I was already subscribed to him. I just assumed that I'm subscribed.
He's a good guy. He really is. And he's super passionate about everything. And that's, whether we agree or not, those are the conversations I love having. Truly, because we don't always agree. But that's why I love what William said. Is that's the reason we're not making movies, and I cannot stress that enough. That's why I laugh so hard at people like Jeremy and all these idiots out there that ramble on and talk shit and say this is woke, yada yada. There's a reason that you're sitting in your bedroom with a web camera and a computer talking about it. It's because you can't do it.
Let the storytellers tell their stories, man. I mean, that's all I say. And I'm not always going to like everything that comes out. Like I said, there's a good percentage of Marvel stuff I don't like. But I know I can't do a better job writing Thor Dark World than the people who did.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, it takes super talent to write scripts, right? Because if you think about it, like all the detail that goes in, it's crazy. But I agree with you, William. I really, really do. And I know that I've done it. And I know what I thought I was going to do turned out it wasn't even close to what I wanted. It really wasn't. I've tried it, and it just wasn't what I wanted.
I know what I like now.
I know.
We're talking about what I like and what my preferences and stuff like that. Now I can tell you that I didn't like Birds of Prey or I didn't like things like that, and just not the direction I would have wanted to as a fan. But it is purely from a fan's point of view because that's what I am. Yeah. I am a consumer.
Yeah. And William, so we're gonna do this like a little pre-recorded video where we all come up with the idea of how we would have done the DCEU. Right? So like how you would have mapped it out and planned it out for the Justice League that we know, right? The 7. Not anything past that, but how you would have done it and let it up. So if you want to join that, I think it'd be really
I'd love
fun.
to. I also you could do another one after that of how you can salvage it from where it is now.
Oh, that's a good idea too.
Because it's the whole entire DCU is so salvageable right now. There's so much money for them to make right now. You take every piece of DC IP right now and you organize them in a way that, like I said before, they're like the houses of Game of Thrones, or WB Network is the Starks, and HBO Max is the Targaryens, and you brand them to the point where you have a hypnotic hold on each of these brands and the people who watch them. They've already got the groundwork there. They just have people involved that are not connected to the IPs in a way that they need to bleed them out with. That's unfortunate.
Exactly.
I'd be worried if it's back to the Targaryens because they might end up going mad.
Everyone's gonna be all HBO Max characters will now be blonde. And ride
dragons.
I have a symbol. Each brand would have a symbol, and I'd see people in Walmart wearing that shirt, and I'd be wearing my HBO Max shirt. But we're all DC fans. DC's making money off of every level,
of everything,
every angle. But they're just not doing it right now. It's
right.
unfortunate.
No, I'll definitely bring you in for that one because I think you have the business aspect of it, whereas I have like where I would have done it a little bit because I really would have done it a little bit differently than Zach did. But I still think what Zach did was remarkable in the sense of how he was going to do it. Because you're really building the Justice League through Batman's eyes, right?
Yeah.
You're with Batman the whole, even though this is a Superman arc, you're kind of riding with Batman through it, right? And it's such a unique take on that, right? Because we get introduced to these characters far past when we're like their primes in some cases, right?
You know what's interesting? Batman is usually the last guy you would see forming a Justice League. Or because he's kind of more of the guy that works alone, right?
Well, not really, because the Justice League is so Batman does the Justice League because it's his collateral, right? Like it's his backup plan for Superman.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like,
because he has a plan to take each person out,
every
right?
single.
Yeah.
He has like the Justice League watch.
But
watch
I
her
do
where
understand
he-
where you're coming from, though, because other Batman comics, right? He's a solo rider. He doesn't mess with nobody.
And
But it's-
TVS
Zack
would be the movie that has the
he
biggest-
understands he needed to form the league, but like if you know from comics and even other TV shows, he's kind of like usually reluctant, but if he has to, he'll join. You know, or form.
No.
there's
There are several aspects of it. Yes.
Yeah.
If there's any movie I would completely dismantle to the point where it would be the most drastic change, it would be BVS. Because one of the problems I have with BVS is there's too much in the movie. There's too much crammed in there, including Doomsday. I would completely eliminate Doomsday from the story. There would be some other way. If you want to still have Superman dying, I got other ways to kill Superman other than, and I know why they did it because it's attached to it, but there's other ways to kill Superman. I thought bringing Doomsday in, and even to a certain extent, Wonder Woman is in there. It's a crowded movie.
Yeah.
It's a crowded movie. I love it, but if I had to re-engineer it to connect it to a five-story arc,
would you have done it in the past? Still?
What do you mean?
Would you have done it in the World War I era? Still, like, would you keep that part of it?
Yeah, Wonder Woman was fine. Where that actual, not Wonder Woman the movie, but Wonder Woman's involvement in Batman versus Superman would have been different than it ended up being. That's just me, because my only problem as a fan, not as a director, because I'm not Zack Snyder, but I just thought there was too much in the movie, and it was not enough time. I had the same problem with that as I do with Avengers. The last two Avengers movies. There's just so many high value characters. There's not enough time. You would need a marathon to give everybody their proper due, and then you add in a character like Doomsday that I had no use for in the story. That could have been anybody. Brainiac. I mean, you could have brought in so many different people that could have been his chief enemy, but everything else that he had rolled out was fine. I mean, the Green Lantern Corps. I mean, I would have had. I would not have had Hal Jordan in there until the end of this entire thing, because the Green Lantern Corps was around long before Hal Jordan. Even though that's the one I would have had Tomer. I would have had other people in there, and Hal Jordan would have came in, and then you spin things off. Right,
because we also have to remember: are you keeping the Batman like well into his prime, like Ben Affleck's Batman?
Yeah, I'm keeping that Batman.
Yeah, because in that case, like, you got to remember, he's been around for what, 20 years, 30 years, right? The Green Lantern Corps has been around. They've been doing what they're doing, and we don't know where they're at in who's where as far as like the Green Lantern, because there's always someone protecting the sector. Right, just
there's 2814, and it was Tomar. It was his original, not Tomar, but it was successor. His successor, you would definitely see in the movie. Okay. You would definitely see Ivan Sur. You would see him. The very first Green Lantern you saw in the movie would have been him, in my opinion.
Right, and that's I think what Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern did well is they introduced him first, like that scene, right?
Would you have him killed off in that movie, and that ring would go to Hal Jordan?
Yes, that's how I would end.
That would have happened at the end of all of that, and then that gives you a basis for Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan would be in the fifth movie. Okay. Hal Jordan would be in the fifth movie, and the armies of Earth, including the Green Lanterns. It would have basically closed the loop. It would have been the war scene that you saw at the beginning when Darkseid or Uxas first hits, and then it would be full circle because Darkseid would be invading Earth, and all the armies of Earth and the Green Lanterns and the Justice League, led by Superman, would have had to stop.
Unite. Yeah.
And
that see, like, oh my God, the ending for like when we found the panels and stuff, like the storyboards for what Zach was originally like the way it was supposed to go. I mean, that final film with the the armies of the world uniting, like the Justice, like you just said, exactly right. That would have been such a surreal moment. It would have been so surreal to see.
It would have been a payoff. It would have been a payoff.
Such a payoff.
And that's what Marvel gives you. Marvel gives you
pays it off. Yeah, they do. Exactly.
And within a much shorter time than we're fighting. We not only did we not get a payoff, we had to fight for what we got.
Yeah, we had to fight just to get
table scraps.
Yeah, we had to fight just to see where the story started, right? Because the story may have started in Man of Steel, but not really, right? And then, it continued in BVS, but really the story starts at Justice League.
While they rake in money for a DVD and a Blu-ray that I can't find anywhere.
Right, and they unlist the trailer.
So like I said,
God, DCEU.
I think that once Discovery takes over. And here's the thing: anybody that gets on any of your show and says they're going to keep these guys around, show me a merger where that happens. For the most part, they just don't do that. The only
they bring their own guys in.
They bring their own guys in. The only guy that I even see having a remote chance of staying around is Keelar. And that's because Keelar comes from a generation where streaming is the focal point.
No,
that was what he was brought to Warner Brothers to
but he's
do.
out, right?
Not necessarily. He's still working. He's still the CEO of Warner Brothers. He doesn't. If you follow him on Twitter, he doesn't seem like he's going anywhere. Now they could tell him, no, you kick the rocks. We got our own guy.
Right.
But they may not. But these other guys, Emmerich and Hamada.
Oh yeah, no, they need to go. I am.
Even if I liked them for this, and I don't. But for this new era, where streaming, love it or hate it, is going to become a major part of what goes on. I don't need old Hollywood. I don't need my wins and losses being dictated by box office. When I can pull $700 million in a month and $1 billion. I need to put people in there that with that frame of thought. And these guys that have been in Hollywood for 30, 40, 50 years, you cannot rewire your brain to think the way things need to go now. And
we also need people who can understand how to create an interconnected universe that's going to exist on multiple planes, right? Like on the cinematic aspect, and the TV aspect, and the streaming aspect. You need to be able to connect it all. And
brand the houses.
Exactly. Yeah, you're 100% right. Because you're right. The old Hollywood needs to either shape up or ship out. Because the world is changing regardless. And if you're not going to change with it, it will leave you behind.
You're going to be like the dinosaurs watching that meteor.
It will. And yes, I can see the tides changing and going towards that streaming aspect. There's still going to be movie theaters. There's still going to be cinematic experiences, but you got to pick and choose what you want, where you want it, how you want to do it, how it's going to connect to the overall thing. Because, right, you don't want everything to connect too much. Maybe little pieces here and there, whatever. But people want that connected shit now.
Yeah. That's the comic book way. That's not even the Marvel way. That's the comic book way.
Yeah, exactly.
And like I said, when you're making $700 million plus a month, you can take risks that you may not have taken under the old rules. The old rules, you got to pay people back. You got to make production budget. But if I'm pulling in $700 million, maybe $1 billion a month, like Netflix or these other guys are doing, I can fail a little bit because you know what? It's about retention.
Look at the movies. Like Netflix, the movies on Netflix, majority of them don't do very well.
Yeah, well, Netflix also doesn't really like.
They keep me on Netflix though, and that's the end. That's the win. Is keeping me.
He just said it right. That's what a streaming service wants to do. How did they get you to spend the most time on their site or their stream, whatever, their service, and not someone else's, right? Is they give you enough stuff to watch. That's why the algorithm will hit you with something. You might like this, or play this next, right?
All right, just plays it for me if I leave the remote down.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great marketing, right? It's like, because they don't care, right? They don't care what you watch as long as you watch something. And that's the difference between now and back then, right? Because you go to the movie theaters, you pick what you want to see, right? And you're not going to see 2 movies in one day. You're going to go see one, right? And not all that money. It's different. It's so different.
If you're the studio, you give 30 to 35% to the actual brick and mortar theaters.
Yes.
So people think, oh, Spider-Man made $1 billion or these movies made $1 billion. That's a great headlining number. But you have so many fat cats that sit at the table with their knives and forks out that got to eat.
Yes.
You got the distributor.
Everyone got to eat.
You got the content. You got the actors that got to eat. You got
when you make $1 billion. When you make $1 billion, it just means you get a little bit more money on your end, right?
Yeah.
A little bit more. But you're still going to pay. Yeah, there's all the expenses that come with it still. Right, exactly.
But streaming, I cut out for that particular movie, not altogether. But if I put a movie direct to streaming, I don't give anything to the theaters. I don't have to pay middleman. My marketing campaign is built into my already monthly expenses. So yeah, you can take a risk. Maybe I make a movie that people say, well, you should never make that because you're not justified in that expense. Don't make a Justice League 2. You're going to spend that much money on Justice League 2 when the first one. I don't care. You know why? Because I got William and I got Ty and I got Aaron on my site, and my 100% goal is to not only keep them but to grow their content.
Yeah.
So I want Ty watching Aquaman and Wonder Woman and everything else from where everything he says. And I want Aaron watching The Sopranos. And guess what? I want them talking everybody else about it. I want them saying, you know what? Yeah, I'm talking about my movie, but you don't have HBO Max? You should get HBO Max.
Like,
that's powerful.
Like, look what Game of Thrones did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everyone in the world had. I'm surprised.
And that was a pirated show.
Yeah,
that was a heavily pirated show. And it's
I am surprised that they didn't retain every single person in the world at that point. That's what happened after Game of Thrones. People fell off. Exactly. So if they had other content, great content, it's a shame that Westworld didn't keep people like it was gonna. Like Westworld does really good.
There was a time when Game of Thrones they thought they were gonna have to cancel because the budget was getting too much.
Yeah, they spent $10 million an episode, but
yeah,
but guess what? But that's before. Now that budget that they spent on Game of Thrones then would be pennies now because of the money you're bringing in other thing. And speaking of Game of Thrones, dude, you give me Wonder Woman Dead Earth and I put it in a Game of Thrones type of setting. You give me certain characters and I do it Game of Thrones style. You're gonna have an IP that's worth a lot of money. And guess what? It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to cater to the CW crowd because I'm gonna handle them too. But you give my grown ass man Game of Thrones content after you reared me on cable with shows like Dexter, Game of Thrones, Sopranos, 6 Feet Under, L Word. That my mind is wired towards that level of thinking. But I want my superhero stuff too. So you give me that on DC Max or HBO Max. That whole universe is its own universe. And then you give me the CW stuff on its own universe. And then you give me the cinematic. Like I said, a lot of people aren't going to like it, but you start from the Joss Whedon. Yeah. You start from Joss Whedon's and you go forward. That way you completely separate the stuff that we want to do and from what he's doing or what they're going to do. They can have it. Go ahead.
I mean, Lord of the Rings should not be called Lord of the Rings because the second age is not technically the Lord of the Rings age. Lord of the Rings is technically the third age.
Oh, here we go. No, but that's a testament to what what William's saying, right?
Yeah, I know.
How much money they're spending on that series to put it on.
What was it, like 400 million?
It's an unreal amount of money. It's not in the millions. It's in the billions. I'm pretty sure.
The billions,
right, Caiden? It's in the billions. It's the most expensive thing I've ever heard of. I mean, and they're putting that money into it to ensure that people are watching it. Literally, they're probably going to market this as something like the next Game of Thrones. I wouldn't doubt it. I really wouldn't.
That Lord of the Rings has always been more kid friendly too.
Yeah, this one is going to be like a real different tone.
I think so.
I know so. I think it's.
I hope.
I think it's going to be darker, but I think it like Game of Thrones, like where everyone can watch it, but not really. You know,
I don't think it's going to be like to the where. I don't think it's going to be. I think the tone will be darker. It's just not to a point where not to the limit where Game of Thrones goes to, because that's not always been Lord of the Rings. Like Lord of the Rings has like limits compared to Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Because
no, it was millions. So 465 million. That's an unreal
amount of money. Because the bad guys,
I thought they said it was going to be $1 billion or something like that.
I think it was like, yeah, it's the second age. I know it's based on the second age, which is going to be very interesting because it's probably the best age of the whole thing.
Well, because in the flashback they showed an image of the 2 trees. So before first age, I don't know what that. I'm not good at the Lord of the Rings lore. So
you have to read this book called Similarity and whatever. Yeah, that book is Lord of the Rings more. It's basically talks about first age and second age before the third age. The third age is basically the movies and the 3 books.
Okay. So we're gonna be. I was gonna wrap it up anyway in the next couple of minutes. But what is this? $465 million in US dollars. For just the first season of this show. That's far above previous reported estimates that peg the fantasy drama. Okay. An already record-breaking 5 million multiple seasons of the show. They're not going to spend about... Well, go back up. $650 million in season 1 alone. Oh.
And
they're going to spend about $650 million in season 1 alone. Stuart Nash, New Zealand.
It's Amazon's money, right? So...
This is fantastic. It really is. It'd be the largest television series ever made.
It's Amazon.
My God.
Amazon could waste this.
Whoo!
Like,
and then Jeff Bezos is going to space.
Yeah.
That's what kind of money they got. So, I mean, by the end of this series, like by the end of say they do 7 seasons, right? At $650 million per season, right? How much money is that? It's unreal, right? That's a
they're planning
lot of
multiple
money to put in.
They're planning
What are they
multiple
actually
seasons.
getting out? That's what I want to know. So how much money does Amazon make? Because most people get Prime for the shipping and like the right, but it automatically comes. It's a genius thing, right? Because people that necessarily don't even watch Amazon Prime Video have it, right? And they're still technically a subscriber, so they already have it and they don't know. And then like you get them to go experience it and watch it, or find something that they like on it, like with these great shows that they're coming out with, like The Boys, Invincible, the Lord of the Rings. I'm just, for lack of a better term, I'm going to say Lord of the Rings series. But right, people are going to be hyped. People are going to love it, and it's coupled with something that you need, right? Because we're all shopaholics in the United States, consumer world. It's already included, right? So in your mind, you're like, oh, I get it for free. Not really. You're still paying for it.
Yeah.
But in your mind, you think you're getting it for free, right? But you're really not, because it's because I thought that way for a while. I was like, oh, damn, this is included. And I always thought of it as like a free service. But in reality, it wasn't. I'm paying for it, right? And the whole free shipping thing, like Amazon makes enough money where the shipping costs are nothing. Waive them. See you later.
Yeah.
Right? That's just how it's a smart business tactic. And especially with Amazon now acquiring MGM, Amazon's got a bright future ahead of them for content. And like William said, your main job as a streaming service is to put content out to keep your viewers on the platform as long as they can, or as you can. And that's it. That's what Netflix has done really well. Hulu's kind of done really well with it as well. I use Hulu a lot. I'm not sure about anyone else. HBO Max is starting to do, with the whole day and day release, it was a little different, but that's how it is. That's how it is. And that's how it's going to be. So your job isn't really like to market a film anymore. Your job is to keep someone on the platform that the film's on. It's just a different world. But Aaron, thank you for joining, man.
You're welcome.
I'm going to tell William too. William, I'm probably going to wrap up. All right.
Yeah. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut out.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Walk in.
We were kind of just finishing up the points about like, by the end of say the Lord of the Rings series has 7 seasons and they're spending $650 million per season. By the end of that, look how much money they put into that.
Yeah,
right?
but look how much money they're going to gain.
They're going to get out, right? That's what we were talking about.
Yeah,
is how much
that's
money.
That's like Spider-Man. That's why Sony will never sell Spider-Man. They will never let go of that IP. They will never let go. Say never in capital letters, because that is an invaluable IP. That is so much of the value of their company right now that if I'm a stockholder and you were even in discussions of relinquishing that IP, I don't care how much money I have to spend.
The Tolkien estate had majority of the IP for Lord of the Rings for the second age and first age, and it looks like they gave him free control of. It looks like they gave him permission for the.
They got paid though, right?
They got paid.
Yeah, they always get paid.
Yeah. They were reluctant for a while. Yes. They were reluctant for a while to.
Especially after the reports of the nude stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like
come on, man.
That's not what Lord of the Rings is about. That's really not, though. It's totally goes against the formula.
Lord of the Rings is giving more of a happy, sad. I think Lord of the Rings is having more happy moments than Game of Thrones. But the second age,
the problem is that
there's gonna be a lot of sad moments.
That Game of Thrones exists. So if you're going to create Tolkien and you're going to put it in the same atmosphere, like it or not, it is going to be could be put up to the same standard.
I think people are going to be disappointed.
I think they're going to market this as like the next Game of Thrones.
Yeah. If you're going to market it that way, you know what you got to have. Sorry.
Yep. Yeah. No. Exactly. And that's what I was saying. Is like I really do think they're going to market it.
We're gonna have elves. We're gonna have elves and humans. Breeding.
Yeah. No.
The first episode of Game of Thrones is she's getting hit from behind by her brother. So
right.
Good thing that's not in Lord of the Rings though. That's not in Lord of the Rings.
You know what's crazy is no one batted an eye about that stuff.
I know,
right?
They won't bat an eye. They won't bat an eye with Lord of the Rings. You know what? They may upset some of the core people, but with the amount of people that they gain.
Yes, it's going to be unreal. They're not going to care about the other
is super dark. Yes. I agree.
And I am looking because I was a late bloomer for Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit stories. I have the books. I have not read them yet. They are very intricate to read. The word, the verbiage, and the.
I was forced to read them in school.
I mean, the first age is dark too, man. The first age is very dark too.
How they read is really difficult. Same thing with Game of Thrones. Reading Game of Thrones was really rough.
Yeah. I would rather tear my eyeballs out than read those books. I read the first 4. And then the series came out, and then I'm like, oh my God. The books are not the show, and the show are not the books. And thank God that is.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But we're gonna wrap up here tonight, guys. Listen, William and Aaron, thank you for joining me, man. You guys are always welcome here. And William, I'll let you know when we're gonna do that thing.
Okay.
Because that's gonna be really fun. Guys, again, so our September giveaway is 2 copies of that's the Blu-ray, but I'm giving away the 4K and the Blu-ray together. I have 2 copies. You just have to be a member of the channel by the end of September. You have to be a 2nd tier or higher.
It's like the only way I'm gonna be able to get that damn thing. Jeez.
Yeah. And I'll be choosing the winners on October 1st on a stream. So definitely become a member. Again, always can feel free to send a super chat, support the channel, so we can keep increasing and doing better things. I have a lot in the works right now, a lot of other things. Like right now, guess what I'm about to go do?
Get on a plane and come to Vegas.
I can't even tell you what I'm about to do because that's how secret it is. But exclusives coming at you soon. I can't even literally can't even tell you, but Caiden knows. I'll tell you guys after maybe, but not everyone else because I'll get screwed. But just say maybe it's something in a galaxy far away. So super fun, and we'll be coming at you with that. But this month is gonna be really fun. Tomorrow I'll be with Dave, the film junkie, he'll be joining me on the podcast, on the Saturday podcast.
Hey, don't let that guy anywhere near you. No, I'm just kidding.
I know what a weirdo he is, huh? No, but we're gonna be opening up with some trivia tomorrow. We're gonna start doing a new thing on the Saturday podcast where every guest that comes on from now until forever, we're gonna open it up with like icebreaker trivia about their favorite topic or what they do. So for Dave, we're doing DCEU, Zack Snyder's DCEU specifically. So feel free to join. It'll be starting at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. And it's going to be really fun. We have a lot of stuff that's planned. And I'll be giving away things on the show as well. So definitely tune in, guys. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, share with your friends, families, and Mephisto so we can all watch along together, right? And become a member of the show. We already talked about that. We do it for you. We do it for the culture. Yada, yada, yada. All right. I'll see you tomorrow.